What's up, guys? Ruben the Taylor from Mouth Guard Out Podcast. Guess what? Like always, we have another special guest, but let's do this. Let's run the intro. We'll go from there. See you in a minute. Peace. First try. Perfect.
Good job.
I'm getting good.
You got it.
I should do this for a living. All right.
Step into the ring, yeah, we taught that fight life. Yeah. Mouth Guard Out Podcast where we shine that bright light. Ruben the Taylor is do it up so clean. MMA fighters, every champ on the scene.
Tina, the Predator Pettigrew. What's going on?
Oh, not much. I'm happy to be here.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much for coming. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot of things. You just got back from Las Vegas for Philly's fight.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense. How did that go?
Well, he lost the fight.
Yeah, he lost.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
It was a crazy fight, though.
Was it?
From the beginning to the end, it was just like we couldn't even coach him. We couldn't even keep up with it just because it was so chaotic. Like, if something would happen, we would say something. I say we. His
Was it the
cornerman,
promotion?
But I was in the corner. No, it was the guys fighting.
Oh,
they were
wow.
just crazy.
Oh, wow.
The fight itself was insane. There were no moments where anything was paused, you know?
Really?
Okay, I always joke that when you coach little kids,
Yes.
like 4 years old kind of thing in a jiu-jitsu match, that by the time you say something, the moment's over.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it was. They're just flyweights. They're insane. They're so fast. They're so athletic.
Yes.
They were both explosive. They, you know, it was like they had something against each other.
I know,
you
right?
know? It was chaotic.
Did they go all 3 or 5?
All 3 rounds.
All 3. They went all 3
rounds. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think Philly won the second round.
Okay.
Lost the first and the third.
Gotcha.
He got a really bad cut here in the very first round.
Okay.
So, like we were talking about earlier, it didn't look great.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's that. And then in the third round, the guy kept taking him down. He didn't really do much with it. Philly was getting back up, but, you know, it's scoring points.
But he was bigger, too.
Yeah, they all are.
Oh, yeah.
They're always bigger. Philly's really a straw weight.
Yeah, absolutely. A straw weight. Is that a weight? Or is
Not
that just
here. No, and pretty much only in Asia, from what I understand.
Got you. Well,
most of those guys that fight at 25 walk around like way higher.
Really?
He walks around at like 36 max.
yeah.
Yeah, so he's a small flyweight.
Wow. Well, if you guys remember, guys, last time I had Alberto El Trujillo El Philly here, and he was getting ready for his fight. It was March 27th, I believe it was.
Something like that.
Yeah, so Tina was in the corner. Would you corner him, or are you just there?
No, I wasn't cornering him. However, the original plan was I bought a ticket to the fight because I wasn't going to be in the corner because he has 2 cornermen already. So what happened was his opponent, he was like, "Oh, we're the main event. Can I have 4 guys in my corner?" And so the commission agreed to do it.
And
so
you're like...
Yeah, so me and Angie Hill were there, but we weren't like his main cornerman or anything. But talking to him after the fight, he said he didn't even hear anybody except Jeremy Stevens, who was in the crowd.
He was...
Yeah.
Holy crap. Well, again, thank you so much. I know we were talking about Philly, but we're here to talk about Tina, the Predator Pettigrew. Tina or Christina?
So my government name.
Your government name?
Yes, it's Christina with a K. According to my mother, they just named me that with the intentions of calling me Tina my whole life.
Got it.
So nobody really calls me Christina unless I'm at the doctor.
Christina with a K, right? Christina with a K.
I don't know why they chose that either.
Kardashian, Chloe. I don't know. I'm just playing. Hell no, right?
Before all that.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for being here. One of the things that if you guys don't know, and I had Daniel Reyes here a couple months ago, is you're his coach.
Yes.
How does it feel? Because I was watching your fights. Daniel has the same belts you do. So how does it feel you cloning yourself through Daniel? Because that's basically what it is.
What a compliment. That's so nice of you to say. Daniel's such a great fighter.
Yeah. No, but I say, like I was saying, you basically cloned yourself. You took everything that you learned or that you know and gave it to Daniel, and he has the exact same belts that you do.
Well, it's funny. He always says, like, whenever he fights, you know, when you have a fight, a lot of stuff happens mentally, and he'll say things to us leading up to the fight, after the fight. In an emotional way, I fight like you guys. Wow. Because we all come forward. We're all aggressive. We don't F around. Like, we want to hurt the person.
Really?
You know? And, but Daniel came to us with some high school wrestling.
Yes.
And not just some high school wrestling, like high school wrestling and jiu-jitsu, actually. I think he was like an orange or a green belt when he came to Bonita. And so he had some grappling experience.
Yes.
And, he has what you can't teach.
Okay.
He has that fighter's heart.
Got it.
That spirit,
Well, that's what you have, because I've seen all your epic fights, and you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah, and we're all like that.
Yeah.
Me, Philly, and Daniel. And I think that, we just got really lucky that we all found each other somehow. So,
you weren't eating flapjacks at his restaurant, were you?
No, he came to us like after a shift.
I don't remember that story.
He came to us like after a shift and was like, yo, I want to fight. We're like, sure you do. Show up to the gym. And then, 2 years later.
Really? Because you know what's funny is watching Daniel's fight, because that's the first time I ever saw you. I haven't met you yet. But you have that same aggression or that same face coaching coming out if you were fighting.
Absolutely, yes.
And I'm like, I remember one time I was sitting here watching with Daniel, and I'm like, he was like, look at Gina, she's about to fight. I'm like, holy crap, it looks like you were going to fight, but it was Daniel who was going to fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's something to the whole, they say, there's this thing they call co-regulation. Like if you're feeling super upset or super... like you went through something hard or whatever, and you're with somebody next to you that you have a connection with, that you guys, your heartbeats line up, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So when I'm in the corner, there's nothing but this.
Yeah.
I'm not distracted by the other stuff, anyone's BS or whatever, like what people are saying in the crowd or whatever. Like, I feel like it's my duty, at least to Daniel and to Celia and the people that I've cornered, to be completely locked in.
Absolutely.
Because I'm fully there with them.
I know you are. And you're not even fighting.
Yeah, well, but I know what it's like.
I know it because that's your home too. Because technically, I think I mentioned it to our last time. You were the epic queen back in the day. That makes sense because because you were undefeated.
Yeah, well, there were an
amateur.
Accurate, yes, and but there were also Juliana Miller and Tyler Schaefer. We all kind of came up together in Epic. I didn't know them before I started fighting with Epic, but all three of us kind of were there. Juliana was 115, the 115 belt holder. Tyler was the 125, and I was the 135, and that was like all kind of at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
So you guys grew up together like a family, like brothers and sisters. Just
in that regard, yeah. Certainly peers moving up together.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Was Angela Hill also there? Or
Angie was already like in the UFC and everything at that point.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, Angie was only briefly not in the UFC.
Yes.
She just kind of like cleaned up in Invicta, and very quickly UFC took her back.
Really?
Yeah. The
reason I asked, because you guys were part of Alliance, and I know the whole Alliance story, and I'm like, holy crap, it's just like... It's like a ball of clay, and then just you start making different pottery. So you guys are a piece of that pottery from Alliance. That makes sense. And I remember Angel Superman Ramirez saying when he fought at Epic the first time, Angela Hill was fighting there too at the same time.
So he was a little bit before me too.
Yeah. Okay, got you.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit. How long you been pro?
I turned pro December 2019.
Okay, so it's been a couple years now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Really?
It's crazy how quick time passes.
Right?
All of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm the older person. Oh, I'm the coach.
Yeah.
Like,
ooh.
what?
Well, it was funny. We were at Epic 60, and then congratulations on your award. You won the award. Yeah, absolutely. So she was there, and then I'm like, cool, you won the award for what? Because I couldn't really hear. I just know you went on stage and got an award.
Yeah, they call it a legacy award, being in the Epic Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
On the plaque, it's like there's like a whole paragraph on the plaque. It's like for being the champ, for coaching the champ, and for commentating, and for having the most.
You've commentated.
Oh yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I love it. It's really fun. And the 2 top videos on YouTube or something.
Absolutely. There's like 2-point-some million views.
Oh, sure.
I think you're fighting against I forgot her name, but yeah, it was one of the biggest videos that Epic has.
Yeah, and I'd imagine, they appreciate that.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's good for them,
Now, did you announce at Epic?
Yeah.
Really?
I did not announce. I commentated.
Oh, commentated.
Yes.
Announcing is when they talking like next on stage.
Yeah, I commentated for them, and I also commentated for Libby's promotion, Valkyrie, the all women's one. Yeah.
How does that feel?
I love it.
Do you think you've made it already when you're already commentating?
No.
I would think
when
that.
I get paid a lot of money.
Oh no, there you go, right?
And I'm on ESPN.
Yes.
Then sure, maybe. And even then, knowing me, I probably won't be satisfied.
Are you willing to do that?
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Really?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm at the point now where, I've always wanted to commentate, but now I'm starting to realize that the industry itself is not super duper my favorite.
Yeah.
I could maybe do it, and if it was what I liked, like if I got in there and I was cool with it, like I really liked it, then I would certainly do it.
That would be sick.
And I know they got a lot of money, so if they paid me a lot of money, yeah. But if I were to talk to them now, they'd be like, "You're not qualified."
Really? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You'd be next to Joe Rogan.
I mean, I did have, I had a marketing and communications background before I went into fighting. So that's part of the reason I feel comfortable on the mic.
Yes.
I have a lot of experience communicating with people in all kinds of different contexts. I'm telling you, like
corporate,
CEOs
everything?
of corporate, yes, of Fortune 500 companies. Like I had a lot of exposure to a lot of different types of people that,
Before fighting?
Yes.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, I worked for a professional women's networking organization.
Okay.
And the owner of the business is named Sally Krawcheck. She was one of the biggest people on Wall Street, like for forever.
Was this in New York or Florida?
New York City.
New York City. I've been stalking her, so I know a little bit behind her background. So really, and then you were technically in the corporate world, right?
Yeah.
And what was that one spark that says, you know what, let me move to California and let me get punched in the face and let me punch someone else in the face?
Well, what's funny is I actually was training before I got that job.
Really?
That's when I met Angela and Adam. I was just training exclusively Muay Thai at a gym called Evolution Muay Thai.
In New York?
Yes, and the head coach is named Brandon Levi. Hello, Brandon.
Shout out to Brandon Lee.
And he... at his gym is where I got exposure to combat sports, like for the first time in a formal way. Growing up, that's a different story. Everybody always has like their own situations where they end up fighting and stuff like that. But it was really my first official training. I think it was either 2011 or 2012 when I stepped into a Muay Thai gym, and that's when I met Angie and Adam.
Got you. Did you do it for the training aspect, as far as being, getting in shape, being healthy, whatever? And then it just said, hey, did you want to fight? Or just...
No. Okay. So I'll give you the whole thing. This is my whole, when people say, what made you want to start fighting?
What made you,
So I got my master's at NYU in bioethics, and I was working full-time as well.
Okay.
And I was like getting all these things done, and I was like, I was like, doing the things that I thought I wanted to do and all that, but I was depressed. I was like, and I felt fat.
Yeah.
And I just did not feel like myself. And I was like, there's something going on with me. Like, how am I going to start to feel better, basically? Like, why am I like doing all the things that I thought I wanted to do, and here I am like sad?
Yeah, you've accomplished everything. I got this, I work here, and all of a sudden you still have that empty feeling inside of you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I got my degree in December 2000, whatever. I got my degree.
Okay.
And in December. And then I went to Pennsylvania with my family because I have some family who lives there for Christmas.
Okay.
And New Year's. And between Christmas and New Year's, there was a UFC fight. Alistar Overeem versus Brock Lesnar.
Really?
That'll give you an idea of when it was, right?
Yeah.
So, I remember they panned out into the audience and they interviewed someone in the audience, and it was this chick, and she was beautiful.
Okay.
And she was wearing a hat and a leather jacket, and they asked her who you got in the fight. And she goes, "Oh, I got Alistar Overeem because he's a striker like me." And I'm like,
really?
Excuse me?
She's a fighter?
Oh, striker? She's cute, Because
was it Gina Carano?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I have a huge crush on her.
Yeah. I mean, so do I. Everybody does.
Yeah.
So I saw her and I was like, wait a minute. She's like me. She's not.
Yeah.
Because remember, back then, there weren't a ton of women in fighting. No. And, I have my whole history, like with my brother, too. He was a fighter, but I decided to let him have that for himself.
What kind of fighter?
He started with taekwondo. Well, scrapping on the street, and also formally he started as a child in taekwondo. Okay. And then
I think every little kid does.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he started doing kickboxing.
Yes.
And then he did wrestling in high school. And then he did jiu-jitsu. And then he did kickboxing tournaments and MMA in college. Yeah.
So your parents just did that with him, and they're like, "You're the girl. You focus on something else."
Yes, I did gymnastics.
Okay, there you go.
So he did martial arts, and I did gymnastics, and I was so in love and obsessed with gymnastics. Yes. I did not even care about anything else in the world ever. You know. So he had that, and I had that, and so we went to high school and we did high school sports and stuff like that. And then college, I didn't do any athletic activities, which is probably, looking back on it, part of the reason I ended up in a depression. You know, because I'm some people can get away with that, but it's not in me to be sedentary. Like I'm a very active person, very athletic. Like the way I explain it to people is like, I think back in the day I would have been the one like carrying the bales of hay and like, you know, on the farm.
On the farm.
Hard. Yeah, for real. It's just
milking
like,
the cows.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I want to do that.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so he was the one that did martial arts, so I kind of always like let him have it.
Yeah, let him do it.
You know? Also because when he would watch UFC, we would watch UFC back when it was on the DVDs and stuff like that.
Yes.
I'm like, who are these like roided out disgusting guys that are just like rubbing all over it? Like, this is not my sport. Like, never once did I think this was my sport. So when I saw her, I looked her up on YouTube and I started watching her fights.
Yes.
And I was like, what the hell? This is so cool. And, you know, I always have kind of these moments where I see someone and I'll be like, I could do that.
Yeah.
You know? And so I spoke to my brother and I was like, you know, I'm interested in trying martial arts. What do you think? Like, I think ultimately, like, I'd like to try MMA, but I think I want to start with one discipline first, you know? And he was like, when you look for a gym in New York, this is what I want you to look for.
Where in New York?
At the time, I lived in the East Village on Manhattan in New York City, and the gym was like kind of in the garment district.
I used to live in Yonkers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. For a long time?
Probably about a year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I lived there for, I think, 7 years.
Okay.
And I just kind of kept moving east because rent is cheaper the further out you go. You know? But I started off in the middle because that's where I went to school. I went to school at NYU.
Got it.
So he was like, this is what I want you to look for. I want you to look for a place that has a competition team. Because I know you, Tina, and I know eventually you're probably going to want to compete.
Really?
And I want you to find a place that's also beginner friendly. And I added my own third thing that I wanted, which is I wanted a gym that could work with women. He was
putting on thick. I need you to do this, and this.
Yeah, well, because he knows me. And, you know, he always wanted me to do MMA. He always encouraged me to do it, but I was always like, no. Yeah. It's for you guys, not me.
Yeah.
So when I saw Gina, I was like, maybe it is for me.
Yeah.
And so the third thing that I wanted in a gym was that they can work with women.
Yes.
And so when I walked into Evolution and I saw Angie, I was like, oh.
So you know her from back.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I saw her my first day.
Really?
Because, you know, when you walk into a Muay Thai gym, this specific gym is literally in, you know.
She wasn't pro yet, was she?
No, she was amateur.
Wow.
But she did have amateur fights. She was an amateur champ, like IKF or something like that, I think. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. But she was competing at, like, the amateur circuit
this is exciting,
Muay Thai
guys.
at the time. Yeah. Her and Adam, her husband.
Uh-huh.
So this particular gym, as soon as you get off the elevator, there's no entryway, there's no nothing. It's New York.
Yes.
You walk right into the gym.
Yep.
And so
it's
you
right
walk
part
into
of the street.
Gym. Yeah. And there's two things that you notice. Well, that I noticed. The smell. It smells like sweat.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is at this particular gym, people were screaming and yelling, rah, rah, on the back. Rah, rah. Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And then I heard very specifically heard Angie's voice because she has a very distinct, it's kind of like a, no, that wasn't it. Sorry. It sounded like a cat or something. She's like a very like high pitch, like, So, that's how I chose that gym.
Wow.
So I started training Muay Thai knowing that I wanted to do MMA.
Okay.
But at the time in New York, MMA was actually illegal. So
what?
I know.
This is what, 2016?
No, it was like 2012.
Okay, got it.
Way earlier than that. And so, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So, I had to pick jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai.
Yes.
So, and also it's expensive. It's like way more expensive than anything I could afford, really. So I had to choose because otherwise it would have been like $500 a month. Yeah, and I was full-time working.
So you still had New York rent, probably car payment, probably bills, and now you have to pay for membership and your Muay Thai.
Right, exactly. So I had to choose between Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, basically. And so I did Muay Thai for about a year, and then I was like, I think I want to compete because I just kept training. I just had so much fun.
Look at that.
I loved it. I loved it so much. So I wanted to compete, and then one thing led to another where I just like, you know, the thing with casuals is they let life distract them from their goals.
What is that, casuals?
People who train casually.
Oh, casual. I'm a casual.
And I was a casual for probably too long.
Okay.
You know, because I knew I had the talent. I knew I could do it. I knew I wanted to do it.
Got
but
it.
I had bills to pay. I had student loans. I had relationships, long distance relationships, dysfunction in my own life and stuff.
Notice how you say relationships more than one?
Yeah, I did. No, I had 2 different relationships that distracted me from fighting. Like I told myself, I want love in my life too. This is also a priority. And so I would, instead of dedicating myself to the gym fully like I wanted to and incorporating that person into my life, I made them the priority.
Did they support you at least? Or?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, that's good.
It's just that my mindset, it was me. My mindset, I had a codependent mindset at the time, which is also like a whole
If
other
you don't
thing.
pay attention to them, they might leave you because... So that's why you focused.
Well, it's not really that. No, I wasn't scared of them leaving me. It's just that my habits at the time, it's a long story, but I was basically trained to look after other people.
Yeah.
And not take care of myself.
Well,
like, and when that starts when you're born, it's kind of like difficult to undo it when you become an adult, but you got to work really hard at it. And so I made a lot of mistakes.
But that's why you're a good coach too. Because you're...
Yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Because I'm
I've
used
seen
to
that.
like paying attention to everything. Yeah. But you know, there's a point in your life where you have to say like, this is my life.
Yeah.
It's not theirs.
Yeah.
So why am I so worried about them? Like, let me focus on myself. So I think ultimately when I did decide to commit myself fully to fighting, that's what it was about. It was about putting myself first. Because I have my own demons, you know, like my own like things that pull me in other directions. So this was like my self-love thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So seeing Gina Carano was what made me want to do it. I became obsessed with her fights. I always tell people I would ride the bus instead of the train because the train at the time was underground and didn't have Wi-Fi or service on your phone. So I would ride the bus so I could watch her fights.
And it would take you longer to get there.
Yep.
Exactly. I know that. I used to live in Massachusetts too. So cool. I was there. So I know the train, the L train, the T's, all that. It was... I don't miss those days, but I miss those days.
Same. Like, I actually really don't miss those days. Like, I don't know if I would ever go back to that life.
It's just the cold, too, because it snows over there.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, so that was the first time I ever saw snow I was on the East Coast.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now, just really quick, thank you so much for that story. Holy crap. And then what made you come to California? Because New York and California are two different spots.
For sure. So
you didn't come here for training, did you?
I did.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Angie and Adam were my friends from Evolution. Yeah. And Angie had gotten on the show, The Ultimate Fighter. And I watched the show.
I didn't know she was on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was on the original cast of The Ultimate Fighter that introduced women's strawweights into the UFC.
Got it.
So, and this was really early on. She had one professional MMA fight before she went into the house.
Really?
And very little grappling experience. I remember because Angie and I trained a little bit of grappling at Evolution. Because there was some grappling there in the beginning.
I got it.
And yeah, so I saw her on the show. And after that, she moved to San Diego. And she was good friends with Jessica Penne. And a few of the other women from the house. Yeah. And Beck, too. And so they all kind of were training out there. And I saw that it looked like a really good team. Like, it looked really fun. California looked like it had great lighting. I don't know, just like, it looked beautiful and amazing. Yes. And like exactly what I wanted. Okay. So I just started asking her and Adam questions. And like, what do you think of it? Blah, blah, blah. I came out to visit and I was like, okay, like, this is what I want. Really? Yeah. And so my business that I was working at the time, we did part-time remote work too. Like if you wanted to work from home one day a week, you could. This was before COVID. So it was before working remotely was too much of a thing. Got it. And so, yeah, one thing led to another and I negotiated working full-time remote. Really? Same job, New York City. My job was in New York City, but I was remote out of San Diego. Did you have to fly there like once a quarter? Yep. Did you? Okay, that's good. That's good. At least they wanted to see if you're still alive, right? It's like, no, they saw me every freaking day on stand-up. Yeah, right? Elon, you hear that, right? Every morning they saw me on the video and we had daily check-ins. Oh, good. So, but it's 9 a.m. for them. Yes, which is 6 over here. Absolutely. Hell yeah. So all in all, I mean, you've been fighting since, when was your first fight? My first MMA fight was it sanctioned? March. Yeah. Okay, good. It was with Sparstar. You did Sparstar? I didn't see that. I thought you were just all epic. Yeah, no, Sparstar. And I love Sparstar. I love Heather. I love Tony. Yeah. Tony is like part of the reason I believe I got into combate. That's my wife's favorite word, combate global. Combate global. She's been saying it all week. Combate global. Combate global. We'll talk about that here in a second. Yeah. One thing that I noticed, I don't know if this is what's that? That was also a catch weight. But the first one was a catch weight at 140. That one was a catch weight at 130. What is a catch weight? A catch weight is between weight classes. So the weight class is 135 or 125. The catch weight will be 130. Do you still have to make weight? Yeah. Oh, okay, got you. 130 or 140. Got it. I say that because
some of your I guess your gear says Catch 22. What is that, a gym or is that a team?
Yeah, good question. So it's goes back to a little bit what we were talking about when Philly was here.
Yeah.
So we all were at Alliance, but if you were either an amateur coming up or a beginning pro MMA fighter and basically not in the UFC or Bellator at the time, then the head coach, Eric Del Ferio, like they wouldn't coach you because they had too many fighters. So they had a coach named Daniel Rhodes, Coach Day Day, who took like the lower level pros and the higher level amateurs. Yes. Yeah. So that's Coach Day Day's like brand, Catch 22.
Catch 22.
And at the time, he called it Catch 22 MMA. It was like our little team of guys. Well, I guess I was
within Alliance though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Alliance Junior. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. We kind of like, well, the reason we did it is because like I remember asking Adam, Angie's husband, like if I want to fight, like who do I ask? Like who do I talk to? And he said talk to Day Day. So he became my coach.
And then that was Philly's coach too. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so Catch 22 was kind of like his brand.
Got it.
Yeah.
So would you guys go as Catch 22 to different areas to fight? But still under Alliance. Wow.
Yeah, I put Catch 22 on everything because at that time Eric like didn't even really talk to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you weren't at, I don't know, his level. Okay,
yes.
got it. Now, as far as, let's just say, were you part of Alliance or Alliance East? Or
Alliance.
Alliance, so you're the main one. And then from
in
there,
Chula Vista.
What did you branch off to once it disbanded? Because I know they...
No, I stayed.
Did you?
Philly and I both stayed. So we stayed with Eric Del Ferio. Yeah, so what happened is after basically COVID, the gym moved a few different times. Is that the one
we went to Chula Vista or to, what is it called?
We went to H Street. We went to Barrio Logan. And then we went to H Street. And then when we got kicked out of H Street because of COVID, we ended up at Game Bread. Like the team sort of traveled without a location. We were vagabonds for a while.
Yeah.
So after COVID, we went to Game Bread. And then after Game Bread, we went to Victory. But either way, we stayed with Coach Eric Del Ferio.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so basically in 2019, Coach Day Day and I kind of like stopped working together, and I stayed with the Alliance team, and I stuck with Coach Eric.
Got it.
Yeah, so did Philly. We followed Coach Eric because he's the GOAT. He's truly the best.
Eric Del Ferio. Where is he at now?
He's at UFCPI in Mexico City.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess that had been in the works for a long time, and they had talked to him about the job, but he had never really like gotten a full job offer until like a year and a half ago.
Really? And then I guess you guys know Dominic Cruz as well?
Yeah.
Was he part of Alliance?
Yeah.
Really? I'm getting excited here.
Yeah. The people that stayed with Eric, Wilson Heiss, me, Philly, Dominic, Jeremy, and a few other people here and there were in and out. And then, you know, some OG people that kind of like fell off of the Eric thing and went to Azteca were, you know, Phil, Angela.
Yeah.
Who else? Maybe a few other people. Yeah. Kat was with us for a while, and now Kat's like kind of on her own too, but
Kat
like
who?
associated with Azteca. Kat Zingano.
Okay, don't know.
Yeah. Kat Zingano fought Ronda Rousey. She's an OG MMA fighter. She's like one of the originals.
There's
She fought Amanda Nunes and beat her.
I think there was a Hawaiian girl.
Ilima?
That's her. Yes.
Yeah. Ilima's one of the
She's
best.
UFC. Right?
No, she's not UFC.
Okay.
Right now, she's Global Fight League. They just signed a lot of fighters.
Okay.
But before that, she was Bellator.
She was Bellator.
She was their queen.
Yes. And I think she's Hawaiian because there's one guy that I think is 10th Planet that trained with her or trained her or something like that.
Yeah. The whole system, that's where I train now too.
Really?
10th Planet South Bay. Yeah.
And so but you coach out of Bonita.
Yes.
Oh, got it.
Everybody who's
Mystery
a coach,
solved.
everybody who's a coach trains also.
Okay.
Well, they better train also.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at 10th Planet South Bay with PJ Barch.
Got
and
it.
PJ actually used to live with Ilima. They have like a Hawaii connection
Yes.
and the 10th Planet connection. They're awesome. They're like some of my favorite people.
Oh, yeah. They got a lot of good fighters.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah. Wow. Well, if you don't mind, man, thank you so much. I get excited. I just listen to you talk, and I'm just slowly putting things together. So when I had Philly here, when I had Angel here, it's like, okay, cool. So now the puzzle's slowly starting to come. We should have like what is it called? A family tree where everything just gets branched off.
Yeah.
And,
well, can I say one thing about
go
that?
ahead.
When you had Nadine on too, and even Kim, like the thing about Ilima, Angie, me, Kat, Jenna, Jessica, Nadine, even though we all like at different points have, and Juliana, Tyler, we've all like trained at different places at different times. We actually have a group of women in San Diego we call the Coven that gets together to spar. We cross-train together.
Yes.
So I feel like post-COVID, people were less sort of like allegiant to specific teams and just found like good places to train.
Yeah.
And so the women in Southern California, like we all kind of work together.
Really?
At different points
to
help each other get ready for fights.
That is so funny because Nadine Mondiu says she had sparred with Angela Hill.
Right. Yeah. That's like our little group.
Yes. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is, guys, wow.
Women work together.
I know they do. I know that, and that's what makes you guys go up to the next level.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because I don't know, man. I don't know. I told my wife, I go, you need to start fighting, right? She's I don't know if she's a good grappler, but she always, I don't want to say she pins me down, but when we play.
Women are, though. Women are really very naturally suited to grappling.
Is that what it is? In my opinion. You think so? Why is that?
Because women are, well, they catch on quickly, and there's a lot of really advanced concepts in grappling.
Yes.
And also, our bodies are like, can do stuff men's can't because we're not as stiff. Like, we're more flexible.
Yes.
And we have, like, I don't know, most women have an innate understanding of like where their body's at, and we might not be like as strong or fast, but we're more like, I don't know if sneaky is the term, but more like able to figure things out on the spot.
No, that's true. That's true. I give you that. I give you that. You know, where we're just strong and dumb, and you guys are more strategic.
Most men.
Yeah, because one of the things I think I told Daniel Reyes, I said, if I were to ever fight, let's just say box, I'm boxing. That means I'm not a boxer, I just box. I would want Kim to train me. You see what I'm saying? That's no, I don't want Jeff. All respect to Jeff. I want Kim.
Yeah, Kim's amazing.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
She helped me cut weight before. I recruited her specifically for that because of the weight cut before that. Wasn't my favorite.
And you know what's funny? I saw her at one of your fights at the Combate Global. So she
was in the corner.
Yes, yes. We're watching your fight, and
that
all of a
was the
sudden,
one that I recruited her for. Yeah.
And then Jen's like, that's Kim. What is she doing there? And it's that's when we slowly starting putting together. It's like, okay, everybody's intertwined. That makes sense. Hell yeah. Well, if you don't mind, like always, I do want to celebrate your accomplishments. Okay. And you know what I like to do, right?
Sure.
I know you have coffee over there and drink, but I like Pellegrino. So Pellegrino, sponsor the show. But thank you so much. One day, right? One day they're going to call me or email me. Hell yeah. I don't like water because I think it's boring. So this is like my closest thing to water. So salute. Cheers. Salute. Congratulations, Tina. Yeah, buddy.
Thank you.
Absolutely. If you have one more, I got plenty more. Yeah, show the label. Show the label. Everywhere we go, we always drink Pellegrino. So I was like, would you like sparkling or tap?
I do. I like it sparkling.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I've been doing is my wife's on that carnivore diet.
Okay.
And since you don't get electrolytes, she puts electrolytes in there. So I've been putting electrolytes. Yeah.
I wonder how that tastes.
It tastes so good.
Electrolytes and bubbly water. Oh, I bet if it's the sweet, like the Element. Is
that
what you use?
Yes.
Element's good.
Yeah.
Phil, my wrestling coach, Phil Davis, who was sponsored by Element, I believe.
Phil Davis.
He gave me some of that, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
And I hear that scientifically it's really good, too. It's a good one.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about Time to Eat with Tina.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember the last time you're like, oh, I prep. I would love to prep some food for you, but now that I'm slowly starting to get conscious of what I eat, and same thing with my wife, but I said, you know what, when Tina gets here, I'm going to ask her about Time to Eat with Tina.
Cool, yeah.
Did I get it right? Time to Eat with Tina?
So Time to Eat with Tina is kind of like my brand for my meal prep.
Okay.
At first, it started off as just like an Instagram sharing my recipes and stuff because people would ask me in the gym all the time, how and you and Philly are so like, you're so like in shape, you're so jacked, like whatever. People used to ask us that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, it's probably the way we eat, I guess, because we like to eat primarily whole foods and, local organic stuff. And so I just started sharing pictures, and then it turned into like helping people cut weight for fights because people don't really know how to do that the right way. And I think a lot of people in life in general, the missing piece is that they don't know how to eat right.
Yes.
So, and I just kind of figured that out by having to, when you're a fighter, your body is like your job. Mm-hmm. So you can't really afford to feed it trash. I like that.
Your body is your job.
It is.
Absolutely.
And people, I think,
it's your brand too.
Yeah. And people underestimate how important it is to eat right. I think just because people want to make excuses.
She's talking about me, by the way.
Oh, no, yeah. I'm not. But if you think so, then the answer is yes.
Yes, it is. See, if you get a guilty conscience, then yes. I'm offended. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that's common, you know?
Yeah.
And I think for me personally, it's fun to cook, and I like figuring it out and making healthy meals. So, yeah, I do meal prep for people if they're getting ready for a fight. I find a lot of people just don't have the time to cook.
Yeah.
Healthy at least, because okay, this is the thing, if you're gonna eat healthy, the decision you make about eating healthy is when you're at the grocery store.
Yes,
it's not when you're like at home or like at work or whatever. If we shop for the right foods at the grocery store and we prep the actual food that we buy, then there's no guesswork. Like, you don't have to like make a last minute decision to get a snack somewhere if you're prepared.
Well, what's that one saying that I hear all the time? Don't ever go grocery shopping hungry.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, oh, look at the cookies, look at the bread, look at this.
You get trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just basically make meals that are all whole foods, nothing really processed. If, you know, even, like for instance, cheese can be a good source of protein.
Yes.
And, you know, a lot of cheeses are fermented, which also gives you like really beneficial probiotics and things like that. I won't like waste cheese on like a processed cheese that has crap in it. I'm going to get like real cheese that's made out of milk and
like a Velveeta.
I would never do that. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's like totally against what I prep.
Okay.
And so when I prep meals for people, I make it affordable and I make it like all whole foods, and like I let them choose what they want, especially if they're trying to cut weight or like lose weight or whatever the thing is. Because I just think a lot of people are kind of uneducated about it. So
you do that locally, right? Because you don't ship.
And it's delicious, by the way.
Oh, I believe you.
No, I don't ship. No, I only do it locally. Yeah. And it's just like, a week-to-week basis, so whatever you want. And I have a menu that I put out each week, and then people can choose the meals from there.
And is it like a whole week or?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
If you want, like, I do like a discount. If you do like per meal, then it's a certain price. But if you get 10 meals, then you get a discount.
That's amazing. How's that going for you?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun for me for now.
Is it?
It can also add stress. But
I know.
It's all right.
No, I was saying that because
a
lot of times you got to get up early, right? Because are you making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or is it just...
Or stay up late.
No,
I just prep all the meals. I prep all the meals and I give them to you all on Monday.
Really? Mm-hmm. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's awesome. See, if I was single, I would have called you. I would have said that because I don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
So my wife does all the cooking. So when I show up, whatever's on the table, she's like, I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.
But now because she's doing the whole carnivore diet and all that,
it's a little different.
It's a little different. So it's like she'll tell me, what do you want? Steak, fish, or chicken?
Right.
And that's it. No vegetables, no bread, no tortillas. You know what I'm talking about, right? So
yeah.
Hell yeah. Now, really quick, what is your nationality? Italian.
I'm white. Yeah, I am Italian.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so that's like the biggest part of my nationality.
Were you born in New York?
Is Italian. No, I was born in Virginia because my parents were Air Force.
Got it.
And
I was stationed in Norfolk.
Yeah, my brother and I were both born in like the Pentagon area because that's where my dad was stationed.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when I was 2, we moved to Florida. So I grew up in Florida. And then I went to NYU for grad school.
Got it.
My mom's from Chicago. My dad is from Pittsburgh.
Got it.
And my mom's family has like a lot of German and Scottish.
Yes, my wife is.
And
she's
French.
German and Irish.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
German, Scottish, Irish. No, not Irish, sorry. German, Scottish, French. And then my dad is Italian and Polish.
Got it.
Yeah, so the Mexicans of the white people.
That's what it is, right? Do you speak Spanish, speaking of Mexican?
Un poquito, not enough.
Enough to order carne asada burrito at Roberto's?
Yeah.
Like, she ain't no order no carne
I can do that,
burrito.
and I can teach a class to a toddler in Spanish.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me something in Spanish, like a sentence.
Oh, well, this is what I say at the gym. Párate, por favor.
Párate, por favor. Cállate.
Venga aquí, con los niños. Con los niños, siéntate aquí.
Yeah, you have a good accent. You have a good accent. Now, if you don't mind, I want to talk about every time I see her fights. And if you guys want to go on YouTube and just type in Tina Pettigrew MMA, you can see her amateur fights and you see her pro fights. But one of the biggest things that my wife, obviously her being a woman, she points it out, your braid game.
Okay.
Your hair is always braided up.
Yeah.
My favorite one, I believe it was Combate Global. It was blue.
Yep.
And you had like a swirl. Uh-huh. How long did that take? And then we'll talk about the braids.
I think it takes like an hour and a half.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, those women are amazing. And those fights in Combate are in Miami. So
Yes.
there's a lot of good braiders there.
It looks like it's in a studio, right?
The fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's really not
Yeah, it's in a television
arena.
studio.
Got it. Because I always there's not a lot of people there.
Yeah, they did start bringing in a crowd, though. I'm not sure what they're doing right now, but I remember my last 2 fights, there were like actual crowds where they sold some tickets.
Got it.
But it was still in the studio.
It was still in the studio.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I like it.
It's more controlled. It's more...
It's like fighting at the Apex.
Okay, there you go. You're right. It's more intimate, I think.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It is. You can hear your coaches better.
Yeah, exactly. Now, as far as the braids, every fight you have a different color. I don't know if that represents something or the mood you're in. If you can break down the braids here in a second.
Sure, yeah. So, for a while there, I was doing...
I know you told us some secrets, so you don't have to bring those up.
Yeah, no. First of all, I put the different colors in my hair because it stays in better.
Okay.
It stays in better versus my hair because my hair is like kind of slippery.
So that's
my
not
hair
dyed.
will fall out. No, it's like the extensions.
It's like extensions.
It's like you buy the hair at the store. And the reason I do it, well, a few reasons. I think it looks cool.
It looks sick.
And it helps your hair stay in.
Got it.
Especially if you're grappling, it's 5-minute rounds. 3 5-minute rounds is a lot. And in some cases, 5-minute rounds. So you want to make sure your hair stays up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it stays tight. Basically, that's it, and it hurts sometimes if you like rub it on the person.
Because it's more of like I don't know what it is. What type of material? It's not natural hair, is it?
I don't know. Some of them are. Some of them are, and then they dye it.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, it just depends. It
but
depends
that's
on
more
what you
expensive,
buy.
though.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. But I only use it once, so I just need it for that. But I do different colors. Well, I mean, everybody's different what they kind of do for their fights and stuff. Yeah. But I always kind of try to do, have like a color scheme if I can. The thing about Combate is you don't always know what color they're going to give you because they do the fight kits. So like 3 times in a row, they gave me white. I'm like, you guys are lucky I'm not on my period.
So if it's white, that means you're in the blue corner.
Not necessarily. They just do it. They do it for your country colors.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So I'm a USA. So red, white, or blue is what they always give me.
Because I know the last fight you had with Claudia Villalobos, she was in red.
She was red. She was red, and I was white and blue.
White and blue.
Yeah. So, but she was from Chile, so it's the same colors.
Got it. So I thought I'm like, and that's one of the things. Like, she's in red. Why don't they have you in a blue kit?
Yeah,
I don't know. But you have the blue letters.
Then they let you, they give you different colors for stuff. They don't give you, like that one, they didn't even give me a white sports bra. They only gave me the blue one and the white shorts. That's all I could have worn.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they used to give you choices, but they don't anymore.
Now, are the sponsors, are they sewed on, or they give you the kit way before, or they give it to
they
the
have
day
you
of the
send
fight?
it to them. They have you send it to them, and then they put a transfer on the clothes.
Got it. And then as far as the colors, like I said, and you were talking about, it depends what kit they're giving you, but do they give you enough notice saying, hey, you're going to have a blue kit?
No.
No?
No, I don't even know the
So
day
you're
before.
just
Just when I pick it up, then is when I know.
And you're like, God damn, I don't match.
Every time. Yeah. So I do my best to be like, okay, let me just pick a color that'll look good, hopefully. Yeah. But, I was also doing this mindset training for a while. Yeah. And one of the things they do is that they encourage you to do is to treat your fight day like Christmas or something. What the hell? Because it's something that you've been focused on. Like, okay, the way they explain it is that, kids want to get presents for Christmas, so they act good all year leading up to it, and then the Christmas day is the day you get to get the reward, and it's like there's all this hard work leading up to the fight, like you diet right, you're staying on your schedule, you're sleeping right,
you're being that little good girl before Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so the idea is to look at it as like, okay, this is the day I reap the rewards, because a lot of people go into the fight, I don't want to say scared, but like anxious, nervous,
that would be
tense.
Yeah.
I think it's natural to feel that way.
Yeah.
But they try to encourage you to be like, hey, listen, like, this is what I do. Like, this is what I want, because I think people forget on their way to the fight that they want to do this, and that this is like their dream life, like that it's a gift to be healthy enough to fight, all of these things. So they try to say to you, they try to get you to look at the day as like, a positive like Christmas like experience. For a lot of people, that's what they think about with Christmas. But for me, I was like, a little bit more like my birthday or something, you know?
Birthday.
Like, I'm not going to think of it in terms of Christmas, but, you know, that's the idea.
Maybe Halloween because you're dressing up.
Yeah, and for women, and yes, exactly. And for women, it's like the nails, the hair, the grooming, like everything, you know, the tan, whatever it is that you're doing before the fight, like it's kind of a part of your process of preparing for war, you know?
Makeup too?
I don't wear makeup.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But some people do.
They do?
Well, for the pictures, I do.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
But not in the fight.
Maybe for the face-off.
I know women do, like, false eyelashes, but I have friends that have told me that it came off in the fight and it got in their eye, like, that it was not good. Mm-hmm. So I never did anything like that.
You want to look good in the camera getting punched, right?
Yeah, you know.
Wow. Now, one of my favorite fights, and it's your pro fight, was with Jillian Knoll.
Okay.
That was a sick-ass fight.
Dude, that was a crazy fight.
Sick-ass fight.
She's a savage.
Yes.
She really is.
One of my fights, holy shit, look at me. One of your fights that I hate, not because I hate you, was the last one, Claudia Zamora.
I know.
I didn't like
it. Zamora?
Yeah.
Not Villalobos.
Villalobos, I'm sorry, Villalobos.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I didn't like that fight.
Yeah, I hate that fight too. We can talk about that later.
Let's talk about it now.
Okay.
Let's talk. I
want to like give Jillian props too because she's amazing.
Yes.
That girl. Okay, so let me talk about Jillian real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before that fight, she had taken like a 4-year break, so I didn't have a lot of footage on her.
Got it.
So I didn't know what to expect, and I knew she had a wrestling background, so I knew she was going to try to take me down. So we really trained hard for the wrestling defense. I don't know if you remember that fight. She tried to take me down a lot.
Yes.
She did not even get close. And that's Phil. Thank you, Phil Davis. You're my most favorite in the world. I know you already know that, but he really helped prepare me for that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what to expect. And then this bitch just comes forward like a freaking maniac.
Yes.
And that's what I do.
Yeah.
So, you know, it took some adjustments in the fight, but I feel like we adjusted really well. And a lot of the drills that Coach Eric had us doing before that fight actually really helped me. Not knowing what to expect.
Yes.
So, yeah, I feel really, I don't like the way that my face looked after that fight, but I won the fight. Yeah. So, I'm proud of myself. And, and she's amazing. Like, she's intensely, she's an intense fighter.
She was from New Zealand?
No, she's from, like, Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
like Washington State, I think.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, and she's so sweet. Like, I talked to her after the fight, and I invited her to San Diego if she ever wants to come train. She's cool.
What's the deal after you guys are fight? You beating the crap out of each other, and then when you're done, you guys are all like best friends and shit.
Sometimes it's like that.
Yeah.
Like Maritza Sanchez, like after we fought, like I really felt a connection with her. She's amazing.
That was epic though, right?
No, that was Combate. That was my pro debut.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And you know, afterward, she was like, let's do it again. And I was like, we'll see. Because she ended up going down a weight class.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Is there rematches?
Yeah.
For
sure. Generally, if there's a finish, maybe not, because I finished her.
Yeah.
But like, I would fight her again for sure. But she's a 25er now.
Oh, I remember that fight. You were Dick or Choke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But we can talk about Claudia real quick.
Yeah.
The second Claudia.
Villalobos.
Yes. So that fight, okay, I haven't fought since that fight, and that was August 2023.
Yes.
So the big reason I haven't fought is because the last 45 seconds of that fight, I got punched in my right eye, and it broke my orbital bone right here. Fuck. And I saw double, when it happened. You're
all healed up now, or?
I'll
like
get
touching
to it.
mine.
I'll explain it to you.
I'll
explain to you what happened.
Yeah.
So, my orbital got fractured in the fight, and my eye muscle got stuck in it. So my eye muscle got damaged, and so I had a surgery to repair the orbital, and then that surgery, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that it was anyone in particular's fault, but then I sought a second opinion. That surgery was in October of 2023.
Okay.
And it effed me up. Like, it really messed me up. Yeah. For a long time, for months, until I sought a second opinion. And then when I sought a second opinion, and that doctor was amazing at UCSD, they got me into surgery right away. They were like, this should have been fixed already. Like, this is messed up. And I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy. Like, I feel like this is ruining my life.
Yeah.
And then they did the surgery the right way. So I had my orbital replaced twice.
Okay.
Now, my eye muscle got damaged. So I see double. Not when I look straight, but when I look up. The reason why is because this eye muscle was damaged and this eye doesn't go up as much, and you need both eyes to see one image. So if one eye goes like too far and the other one stays, then you see double.
And that's still there.
Yes.
Is it corrective? Like, I'm being ignorant here, but glasses or laser or anything? No.
So when I talked to the second doctor, he did give me options for operating on my eye muscle, essentially. Shit. And he told me that, so I see double when I look up.
Yes.
So, like, I don't know if you can see it.
I'm, like, looking
right now.
Okay.
But this one goes up less.
Yes.
And you're double right now.
You're right there.
So, but now you're one. So, the way the doctors explain it is if you're an adult, you don't really have to look up like that, you know?
No.
But I'm a fighter, bro.
You have to.
Even just now, when I did it, I closed this one so I could see one of you. But you need to do chin down, eyes up. As a fighter. So you need to be able to do that as a fighter. And so
I'm getting stressed just listen to the story.
So he told me that they can do, there's like 4 different surgeries that they can do on the eye muscle. And they all basically involve, like, I will be able to look up, but I won't be able to look down.
God. Make up your damn mind.
So, and he's like the expert in the field. The guy is like amazing.
So tying your shoes one eye then.
Yeah, exactly. And so, by the way, this doctor, he
this is UCSD?
Yeah. He was like, okay, what happened to you? Like, no. Like, we should have gotten you in here right away. Like, he was very on it. And he was very... The first doctor, when I had that surgery, after the recovery, during the recovery, I was like...
What's your recovery time after the first one?
So, after the first one, they wanted me to, like, basically do nothing for 2 weeks. Like, I couldn't even do a push-up or walk around because the blood pressure... Yeah. Yep. And then after that, he basically had me take... 8 weeks off of training after that.
Even coaching?
So, no. Okay. I coached, but I was like, I was not good.
No.
And after the first surgery, I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. I really did. Like, my brain felt weird. Like, looking back on it, I think something happened to my nervous system. I got like depression. It was like it really messed me up. Yeah. And so finally when I sought help, that was in October when I sought help again, because I wasn't able to get back to training. Yeah. Like after that period of time, I sought a second opinion. Yeah. I saw him on a Wednesday, the second doctor, and he was like, let's get you in Monday. And this is at UCSD. I don't know if you've ever had an appointment at UCSD, but they are busy.
I got the VA. It'd probably be years before I get an appointment.
Exactly. That's how it is at UCSD. It's terrible. And then they'll come up with every excuse to not give you the care that you need. Yeah. But this doctor is so amazing. Yeah. He was like, it was a Wednesday. He was like, let's get you in on Monday.
That quick?
Because that's how bad it was. Because he looked at the CT. Fuck. And by the way, the other doctor looked at the CT and was like, literally, this is what he said to me.
You're good.
He goes, I think there might be something going on in there, so I want to go back in there. I'm like, bitch, you think I'm gonna trust you to go back in there when there's something going on that you did?
He probably missed something while he was in there. It's like, let me go in there real quick.
Yeah,
again.
I'm like, I'm not gonna have the way I felt after that first surgery. I did not trust that man. Oh wow. So the second guy after that surgery, it felt like how it was supposed to feel.
Really, bedside manner.
Yeah. Well, no, not just that, but how I felt.
Oh, got it.
Post surgery, like the second day after surgery, I was walking around doing stuff. I didn't feel like. I don't know, like concussed, like I was hit by a truck. I don't know what the first guy did, but the second guy fucking fixed it. So that was good.
What do they have to do? Because I don't see any. I'm looking for scars.
I can show you pictures.
No, I don't want to see pictures.
I'll send it to your wife.
Okay, she'll like that.
It's creepy.
Okay.
They go in through your bottom eyelid.
Okay.
And so they go in inside here, and so I still hear like it's numb.
Okay.
To this day. And that was a year and a half
ago.
Yeah.
But that's good. So if you ever get punched there, you won't feel it.
I guess, but that's not what I'm worried about. I don't care. I don't give a shit about the pain. Yeah. I just want to be able to see.
Yeah.
So now when I drill and things like that, if we're in kickboxing range, I'm fine because that's far enough where I can see you. If we're grappling, I'm fine because I can touch you.
Got it.
I know. Like, trust me, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But if we're in boxing range, that's the hardest for me.
Really?
Because I have to be like this.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm adapting. But yeah, that's why I haven't fought since then. And you know what's crazy? I was thinking about this on the way here.
I'm trying to do what about using your peripheral? I'm not an expert at fighting or anything. So instead of doing this, why not look sideways and look this way, like using your, I don't know. Help me out here.
Because you're going to get hit.
Oh, okay. There you go. That just answered my question.
You kind of need your eyes. Yeah. So, but what's crazy is, I've never, with the exception of, I guess, the Jillian fight, 2 weeks later, I had, like, my tooth broke.
Okay.
So that's something that happened post-fight. But
is that your molar?
Leading up to, and I still, like, have some issues with it. But other than that, I've never had any serious things happen post-fight.
You have a mouth guard, though.
Bottom teeth.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh. I've seen some people that use the double, the top and the bottom.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Is it?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like it would be hard to breathe.
Okay.
But other than that, the tooth thing, I never really had anything serious happen to me in a fight, like health-wise, until this.
Yeah.
And never once was I like, oh, the thing that I'm passionate about and that brings so much meaning to my life is going to take away my vision.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
Like, just the whole process of accepting what had happened and that this is what my life is now has been difficult. And even when I look at pictures of myself, I'm like, oh my God, that eye.
Yeah. But the thing is, how can I say this? You're at the level where you can look back. Let's just say if you were to retire from fighting, whatever, you say, you know what? Look at the level I got. Yes, I got injured in my eye, but I'm there. I'd rather you do it at the top than at the bottom. For
sure. Yeah, I agree with
Hopefully that makes sense.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many fighters you've spoken to and what their mindset's like. But, I wanted at least 10 professional fights. Yeah. And I still do. It's like everybody every time I win a fight, I'm happy that I won the fight. But I'm like, what's next?
Really?
What's
You're
next?
not satisfied?
No.
Wow.
No. And I think that that's a part of doing well in things is you're happy that you got where you did, but it's just you got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I see it. I mean, like, if I look at fighters, and I think I don't know if you remember this when I told Philly, I live through you guys. Does that make sense? You guys are entertainment for us, but you guys are sacrificing yourself. And look what you did. You had to sacrifice, your face. But now, obviously, you're healthy. You're walking around. Nothing's happened. You see what I'm saying? But
I mean, there are things, but
yes, I get it.
Comparatively speaking, yes, I'm healthy.
Your body and everything, and we have the pleasure of having her here. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm comparing myself. I broke my clavicle in boxing, but I'm not even amateur. It was just in training. Yeah. So now I'm like, oh my God, my boxing career is over, even though I'm never going to fight.
Yeah, but still, I feel it. I understand.
Yeah, I'd rather say, you know what? I went at least amateur. I went pro and I broke my shoulder. All right, cool.
I see. Yeah.
But I'm like barely starting. I'm barely crawling and I'm already injured.
Hey, we'll look at it this way. I have such a joke with all my friends that I train with.
Yeah.
So recently, I had started getting back to sparring and everything like that. Okay, and then I went out to sushi with Daniel and Sally and Philly. And I opened up the door and the metal door cut through my toe.
Oh, got it.
It was disgusting and terrible.
You were in sandals?
Out for like a month. Something that was not even fighting related. Yeah. So if it makes you feel any better, even professional fighters, they just get stupid injuries from things from life that you're like, wait, what? It wasn't even worth it, you know?
What's funny is even at my age, I was cleaning the pool. You have that long stick to push. Yeah. The next morning, I couldn't even move my back. Yeah. I'm like, So people was like, every time I go to work, I'm like, walking or limping, whatever. Did you get in a fight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. I was training. I was cleaning. I got in a fight in my pool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, that's the Villalobos one. I didn't like it. I don't know, for some reason. Maybe I didn't like her. I didn't like the way she was doing. Why?
You didn't like it the way I didn't like it. It's a boring fight. So this is what I've fought 2 people who did this. So I lost a split decision, which is the one that I think was because of my bloody nose. Okay. Well, that and whatever. But and that was an exciting fight. Yeah. Like, I respected that girl. Yeah. I still respect that girl. Like, I still think I beat her. Mm-hmm. But it was a good fight. Yeah. So the 2 fights that I've lost, unanimous decision, all the chicks did was boop, boop, beep. Yeah. Bop, beep, boop. Yeah. They're winning by points. Because
you think that's what she was doing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she had a good game plan. So because what she did is what they call combo breakers. Okay. So she would catch me in the middle of my combo and just counter with hands. And she played it safe. Kickboxer never threw kicks.
That's why. She played it safe. And you know what's funny? And I think what pissed me off, and then I talked to my wife because she didn't like it either. Yeah. Because she was smiling and laughing. Yeah. I'm like, bitch, come on.
I know.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe that's one of the reasons that triggered me. I said, I don't like this fight.
And it's not like...
Even if you would have won, I wouldn't have liked her because I didn't like the way she was fighting.
Oh, maybe but did you even see that her girlfriend like lifted her up and almost ran into me?
Her girlfriend?
Her corner.
Oh, yeah.
I think she was her girlfriend. Okay. Like at the time, they're not together anymore. No. But like she lifted her up, Eileen Perez, she's in the UFC. Okay. She lifted her up and put her on her shoulders and fucking ran across the
they cut it off.
It was very obvious that that something was going on with my eye and I couldn't see. And literally Philly was like,
yeah.
Because it was just so disrespectful. Yeah, and I don't think my opponent was necessarily disrespectful, but that in itself I thought was.
I think she was feeding off her coaches and the corner.
For sure.
That's
and
why.
She did what she had to do to win the fight. Yeah. So I respect it. Yeah. But I agree with you. And I'm at fault too because I went into that fight with something that I know now was an injury, but I was like, I didn't want to not I wanted to fight.
That's the one where Kim was there.
Yeah. And it's funny because Kim actually told me so I got dropped twice in the second round in that fight and I didn't get hurt. The reason she dropped me is...
You got up really quick.
Yeah. And she even threw a kick and I defended. There was Kim asked me after the fight, oh, did you black out? That's never happened to me where I've blacked out in a fight or been really rocked where I was confused or anything like that. Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah.
But the reason she knocked me over, again, she was smart, is because she only punched me when I was kicking. Yeah. So I threw a kick, I was on one foot, and so I fell back. Yeah. That's it.
Well, your legs all the way in the air.
Exactly. So she timed it really well. And it did not hurt me. None of that hurt me, but it looked good for her.
It looked good.
And it looked bad for me. So she won the round. Yeah. But anyway, after Kim realizes I'm losing the fight, she was going to let Philly coach. And then between the second and the third round, she goes, use your jab. I'm like, oh, you use your jab. My left shoulder is not doing anything right now. Wow. I wanted to jab, but it wasn't going.
I think I heard Philly, what was he saying? 1, 2, 3 or 1, 1, 2?
No, that's another thing too.
Was that?
So that's another thing too in the fight. This is another.
We're getting heated up in here.
Looking back on it.
Yeah.
Well, because when you lose a fight, you take it personal. It's like your life's work, Yeah. And so Coach Eric Del Ferio is my coach. Okay. And I love having him in my corner. Yeah. He doesn't always have to be there. Oftentimes I'm more comfortable with Philly. Okay. So, and normally we're all on the same page, right? We all have the game plan. We all did the thing. Well, Philly had a title fight 2 weeks after my fight. Okay. Combate decides last minute to change the date of the fight. They pushed it a week. So instead of it being on the 12th, for instance, they needed it on the 19th. Well, Philly was going to fight on the 26th, the week right after. So we had to scramble. Part of the reason Kim came is because we had to scramble to figure out who was going to even be in my corner if I was still going to fight. And I didn't want to not fight. I wanted to fight. Coach Eric couldn't be there. And I said to Philly, hey, do you want a corner? Because I don't, looking back on it, I shouldn't have even asked him to corner at all because he was fighting in a week. So one thing led to another, whatever.
You think that's a distraction in his mind?
Are you kidding?
I'm just asking the question.
Yes, of course. Okay. Oh, and I think at the time you just want the thing so much that you're kind of in a state of denial.
Got it.
You're like, we're going to make it happen. Yeah. We're going to make it work. Yeah. And then looking back on it, I'm kind of like, ooh, that maybe wasn't the smartest decision, But especially after me getting a serious injury right before he's going to fight. And I had to act like I was fine, even though it was a lot. But he kept calling for 2, 3 inside, 2 out, 2, all of these things. And bro, I thought he meant kicks, but he meant hands. And he kept calling for it. And I was like, oh, I'm doing it, but it's not really working. So
I was on the third round.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I remember that.
And I.
You were frustrated.
Yeah. And because when you're fighting, there's a mix between trusting your gut and listening to your coaches. Yes. And to a fault, I think sometimes listen to my coaches. And it's not that what he was saying is wrong. Actually, what he was saying was right. And he was giving me the right thing to do. But the way he said it, it didn't click in my head because Coach never said that particular thing to me.
Okay.
Coach says that particular thing to Philly.
Got it.
So, like, had he told me, because I also work with a boxing coach that does specific boxing stuff, so he calls it different stuff.
Got it.
So it was interpretation, like a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm getting caught. I wonder why. And I was like, like in the fight.
Yeah. And the other day, we actually watched the fight in slow speed. Mm-hmm. So, because I wanted to see everything. Mm-hmm. And then sure enough, like I said, I don't know if it was
could you tell that I got hurt in the eye or no?
The last round.
The last 45 seconds.
Round. Yep. Last round.
And I took her down anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, fuck it.
That chick was heavy.
She had a big ass.
Yeah, she was sturdy because I saw you trying to pick her up and you're like, oh, damn. Mm-hmm. I could just see it. But you took her down at least a couple times.
3 times.
3 times, yeah.
Too late. In all of the rounds.
And it was always at the last 10 seconds.
Yeah. And Coach was like, Coach Eric, watch the fight. And sometimes I wonder if that was a mental thing too. You know, like, could I have not, I could have taken her down before that.
Yeah.
But Coach Eric was like, when he watched the tape, he was like, that girl wasn't going to get up.
Yeah, she was too heavy.
She wasn't going to get up. Yeah. Like that she was going to stay underneath me. Yeah. You know, so had I taken her down earlier, like it would have been a different kind of fight.
Yeah.
And that was my plan. But, like, shit happens.
Wow.
You know?
When you're in, and then since we're still on the last fight, do you tend to listen? You said something about how did you say it right now? Sometimes you go off of you. Sometimes you listen to your coach. Mm-hmm. What's the percentage that you say? You know what? I'm not going to listen to my coach. I know I have it here. What's the percentage of you saying you impromptu it or you listen to your coach?
I think it depends on the fighter, and it also depends on the day.
Okay.
So this is what I mean. So for instance, in that particular fight, I listened to Philly.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was listening to him. I guess I was hearing a different thing. But then when I fought that girl, Maritza, I very specifically remember my coaches saying to me when I had her back, don't burn your arms out.
Yes. Because that was the first round.
Yeah. But I knew I had it.
Yes.
I knew it was in there.
You know what? You had it the first time.
Yeah, so I stayed on it.
Yep. And then even the coach, or not the coach, the commentator was like, oh, she had it. Mm-hmm. And then you let go, and then you just regrouped, and boom, you got her the second time.
Yeah, because there's a very specific cross grip that coach had taught me. Like, he called it double reinforcement. Now I kind of consider it like a Kimura grip-ish.
Got you.
That I was trying to catch, because I had drilled it so many times, and I knew that I was going to get it from there.
Yes.
So, I just stayed on it. And, I knew I had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if she were to watch that fight, she would be like, "Oh, I maybe made a mistake," because she did give me opportunities. Mm-hmm. So that's I knew I was gonna get it, so I did not worry about my arms.
Got it.
I did not worry about gassing out my arms because I knew I was gonna get the finish.
So you had it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so exciting! Yeah,
it's fun. It's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. Now, can we switch to the other Claudia?
Yeah.
Yeah, Claudia Zamora. Mm-hmm. You knocked her out, right?
With the
jab?
She
buckled.
The jab? Yeah, the cage was behind her, so she stayed up.
That held up.
Yeah, she got a chin, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that girl, when I fought the second Claudia, after first Claudia... The combate commentator asked me, why didn't you finish that fight? I'm like, bitch, she's never been finished. Like, that girl, Claudia Zamora...
Yeah.
Like... She knows how to win fights. And when she gets rocked, she hits harder and she gets more aggressive. Like, I watched the tape. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that she was going to be more dangerous once I clipped her.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to win the fight.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to, do something stupid.
Do you think if the cage wasn't behind her, you would have knocked her down?
Yeah.
Because you saw her buckle, right?
Yeah, but she's also good at getting up.
Is she?
Like, her tape, like the thing about grappling for MMA is that it's pretty straightforward. Like, you have to do things like give people your back in order to get up.
Yeah.
If you want to get up, there's not a lot of people who play well off their back in MMA because normally you're getting hit. Yeah. So, and she had really good get up grappling. Like, grappling for MMA. Yeah. That girl, Claudia Zamora, she had it. And she's strong as shit. And she's low to the ground. So it's hard to take people down like that. She was only 5'4".
Yeah,
like
she was short.
I could get up in on her hips, but did you see her legs?
Yeah.
Like, jacked. Yeah. She hits hard too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she just lost heart in the fight. I think that's what happened.
See, this is the one I have right here.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind, can we watch it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So again, guys, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give credit to the person on the bottom. So this is Combate Global, and I already have it memorized. It's at 3 minutes and 29 seconds, where she just buckles. So
It's with a jab.
Yes.
Right.
Well, you kicked her.
Okay.
I think
I
the
kicked her a
kick or
lot
stun
in the
her.
fight. Yeah.
I'll show you where it's at. That's
like that push kick.
Yes.
Because her style, when I watched her tape, she was very open like that. So I was like, okay, straight up the middle.
Straight up the middle. What is it called? A teep?
Yep. Yeah. Push kick. It's one of my favorite techniques.
Yeah.
Daniel and Philly are in the corner, by the way.
Oh, cool.
At this fight. This is a fun fight.
Yeah, she has a low center of gravity. She has the big hips.
Yeah, and she did that weird, she missed and then she came back with the hammer fist.
Yeah. That's your purple hair.
Yeah, bro, when she threw that kick and I caught it, I remember thinking, oh, like, good thing it was on this side because my liver is on the other side. And then I watched the tape and I was like, oh, that was my liver.
You think the adrenaline?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Wow, that white really washes me out.
You better tell the promoters, hey, I need blue or pink. And this is Miami, like you said?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I knew that calf kick would be there too because of the way she stands.
Yeah. It's weird listening to it in Spanish. And
Is
they
it weird?
speak really fast.
Yeah. Philly thinks that they're the best commentators in sports. Because they have, they have the passion.
Yeah. Especially like in
look,
soccer.
Daniel, look, there's Daniel. With our San Diego Detox shirts.
Goal.
They're our best sponsor. That was sick, though. Did you see that? Push kick with the lead leg. I worked really hard on that. And then to be able to do the question mark kick with my lead leg is something that I really wanted to do in this fight.
That was it. That was it right there. We missed it. Right? Watch. You can see it. Bump right there.
Oh,
that
okay.
little buckle she had.
I think that might have been the right hand that caught her. I think the kick kind of caught her a little, and then the right hand, she was like, what the? But I think it was maybe the second round when she...
That's the one I saw. It looks like she bounced back off the cage, but if she would have been in the middle, she would have fell and you would have jumped on her.
She has interesting body language, too. In general, like the...
Uh-huh.
And I think before this fight, one of the things that I learned after I lost that split decision was I used to go into fights thinking, oh, I'm just going to hurt this bitch.
But you won this one.
I'm a mess. Yeah.
Oh.
But, that's what I'm telling you was like part of the reason I won this fight is because I changed my mindset from I'm trying to hurt this bitch to I'm going to make it look like I'm winning.
Got it.
So that's why I'm moving forward and she's moving back because they were very on me about making it look like you're winning.
Now, those are the buns, the low buns you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, they came loose a little bit, but I think that was the one that stayed the best. Mm-hmm. And that's with that was from the braider at Combate. Yeah, people say things leading up to the fight that you're like, bro, come on now. Like, I remember the braider was like, oh, your opponent's really nice. I'm like, you think I give a fuck? What the hell?
She likes long walks on the beach.
Yeah, I'm like, come on now. Maybe talk to me about something else.
Yeah.
Okay, so that lead leg, when I lift my knee a little bit, that's one thing that I like to teach my fighters a lot because what happens when you... Nice, that was good. Straight
Is that like a
pipe,
feint with your leg?
It is. Oh, shit. It's getting heated.
Damn.
She almost really need me, but it just missed. It looked bad, but it just missed. Yeah, it's a feint, but it also discourages them from kicking your leg because if you lift your lead leg, they know that you're gonna check it, and when someone checks your leg, oh, I'm piecing her up there with the 1-2. But see how I'm staying patient?
Yeah. Yeah, she's doing all the movement and turning around. You're just following her like, okay, where are you going?
Yeah, tracking her.
And you're pacing yourself, too. I like that.
Okay, so that uppercut?
Yes, I saw that.
So the reason I did that is because her corner's panicking at this point, and that's why I feinted the knee, too. Because they were, like, getting exasperated. They were like, Claudia, you got to do something. Take her down. They kept saying, take her down. Yeah. And I know, as the guy who likes to take people down, if someone flashes an uppercut or a knee, you're not going to want to take her down. So that's why I did. I heard her corner. I was like, go ahead, try, bitch.
Oh.
Like, I love, like, I respect her. I would never actually call her a bitch, but just like in that moment, you know, it's like, go ahead, get in on these hips. Let's see if you can.
Oh, trying to do a fly. What is that, fly knee?
I think that was a flying knee attempt. Look, Daniel and Philly. Yeah, Philly's very intense too.
Yeah. And this is in the same studio?
Yeah, Combate.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. Your perception of time in there is a little bit different.
Ooh, I think this is where you start bleeding. Yep, there it is.
A little bit.
Wow. Are you getting excited?
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
I know, right?
And it must be cool to hear, like, from a fighter's perspective, what they remember in that moment and things like that. And I love watching fights.
Yeah.
We don't have to watch the whole thing unless you want to.
I'm already in it.
All right, well, I lost the third round, so we can also talk about that.
Yes.
Because my coach was pretty pissed at me about that.
Yes, I remember that. So this was decision then. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but I won the first two.
Mm-hmm. I like the announcers. They sound cool. Well, her coach command, was it in Spanish or
her
English?
Coaching? No, English. It was her husband, I think, that guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do like those braids. It looks cool. Mm-hmm. Her braids are cool too.
You've always braided your hair?
I used to do just the two regular French braids when it was just my short hair.
Got it.
The short pink hair. I would have my friends do it. But then once I turned pro, I was like, I should probably get this professionally done. Because again, the rounds are longer.
Yeah.
So the opportunity for your hair to fall out is higher. Or the likelihood that it's going to fall out is higher. I'm hearing him now. He said filero, but I didn't do it. See, like with her, I would have loved to have worked the body more, but she was short.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, nice. Okay, and there were a few people that said to me about this fight, like, oh, you couldn't take her down, all of those things. But people don't understand that sometimes you just do a takedown attempt, not to take her down, but to change the rhythm of the fight.
Got it.
And to get her thinking, oh, shit, this bitch could take me down.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a strategy, too. You don't always have to hit everything perfect. You use all the tools you have in order to accomplish the goal.
So it's almost like a distraction to trying to take her down.
Totally. Yes. Or to get her hands down or whatever the thing is.
Yeah. It's too low. Wow. El gancho volada. Oh, I wonder what that means. Hook something. Flying hook. That's what it means. I'm trying to use my Espanol.
Yeah, I throw a lot of kicks.
Yes.
And now that I know, like the girl that I fought after this, she used my kicks as an opportunity to punch me. Mm-hmm. Depending on the opponent, I may or may not throw a lot of kicks, you know? But I don't know, as a fighter, it's been a goal of mine to use all of my tools, you know, to be able to like adapt and have
But there's times you don't even have to use them.
Totally.
Yeah. But at least, you know, it's in the toolbox, for lots of better words.
But I like it. You know, I like to take people down. I like to kick them. I like to use my boxing. Because I've had fights. So that's the thing, too, is when I lost that split decision, I was just really dead set on boxing the girl.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'd been working on. Like, I wanted to get better at boxing.
Yeah.
And looking back on it, I should have used more kicks.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's an adjustment. It's kind of like, you know...
Is it weird looking at yourself?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, it is. What's crazy is even though in my brain since my eye surgery, I'm like, oh, I haven't like like I'm so hard on myself. I'm like, I haven't improved as much as I wanted to in the gym and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this, and even though this, I guess on paper is a good performance, I'm like, oh my God, I would have done so much better. Like if it was me now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
even though like I haven't trained the way I would like to train leading up to a fight, I still like feel like I'm so much smarter and like I have a lot of other tools. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You're always going to criticize yourself. Oh, I should have did this. I should have did that. I'm like, yeah, but you did it though.
Yeah, for sure.
And then what's funny is if you ever fight again, you think, okay, I'm going to do it this time, and it changes.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I think I'm about to set up the switch hook left high. Yeah, I did. And there's this.
And all that's going through your head right now.
Yep. Yeah, because I did the switch hook in anticipation of that.
Mm-hmm. Sabrosa.
Yeah, she just like her body language looks some type of way. Like she puts everything into everything. So like when she hits you, it looks intense. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk about the beginning of this. Mm-hmm. So something happened. Philly said he had told me between rounds, you kicked the leg enough. So now I want you to kick the head. Watch. I go to kick the head with my right leg, and I do not believe in right kicks to the body, but it ended up going to her body instead. This is it. She caught it, and I ended up on my back, but I'm comfortable with my get-ups. So I didn't even really get hurt because, you know, I know how to get up like she does. Like I was complimenting her get-ups. Mm-hmm. She has really good get-ups. Oh, and I hit the spinning shit because I said to him between rounds, I was like, oh, the spinning kick, I want to throw it, but I haven't seen it. And he was like, don't overthink it. Just send it.
Just send it.
Because I had worked on a lot of stuff that I wanted to, like, do better at. And so this is when I started moving backwards more. Mm-hmm. Because, but I have some pretty nice shots. It's not like... No, you did. It's not like she pieced me up. She just hit a lot of hooks.
Is there such thing as getting a second wind? Because I think that's what she got her third round.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you lose the first 2 rounds. Yeah. You get desperate.
Yeah.
Second wind is also known as desperation.
Yeah, but you also get exhausted, too, because you're just throwing... And that's when you start getting sloppy, too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes at the... Like, again... and watch, she tries it, too, I think, after that.
Let me see.
That's the thing, too, is, like, in these rounds, it's like you got to make it look some kind of way.
Yeah.
And I do think and I don't know if all the judges said that she won this last round. I think they did. They did. But, like, it's because I'm moving back, but I'm still hitting her. Yeah. Like, trust me, I don't have a style. Like, my style is, like, try to hit me. Okay, you're going to pay. Like, I could tell she got hurt the same in this round, if not more than the other rounds, because when someone comes forward at me, like, I'm not the most accurate, but I'll hurt you. Yeah. You know, like I could tell, like, look at her face.
Boom.
She's like, you know, it's like, she's definitely getting hurt fighting this way.
See, they're getting excited because you're bleeding too.
Right. Exactly. Of course. Always, especially in the white. And that was, okay, so remember how we were talking with your wife about getting my nose bleeding? Yeah. So I got my right nostril cauterized, and this is the left one.
The left one.
So I should have gotten that one cauterized too, knowing what I know now. But the right one didn't bleed because I got it cauterized. It's just everybody's nose is different. Yeah. And unfortunately, you know, some people who fight have, like, temperamental noses. Because I'm telling you, after this fight, it didn't hurt. Like, I didn't have...
You weren't bruised or anything?
No. The only thing that hurt, you know what hurt after this fight? Is my right leg, because I threw a lot of leg kicks. I don't even remember hearing Philly, but he was probably saying, stop moving back, stop moving back.
Looks like your shoulder hit her stomach. She went like, ugh. Yeah,
she's a kicker too.
She's done.
See, the thing is, like, she threw a lot of kicks, but there were very few that actually caught me because my right hand is tight. Yeah. Because my teep defense was pretty good. I mean, that's a really important skill to have, is kick defense, in my opinion. That's one of the things I always teach my students first thing. Because if you fight a kicker, it's funny because I'm a kicker, but if you fight a kicker, there's a lot of opportunities, especially in MMA, to counter, to take them down, stuff like that. And you know what? I think the problem was in this fight, the reason I didn't, like, come forward more in the third round is because she came forward, and when I fought Jillian and we crashed because we're both forward fighters, like I took a lot of damage, and this is what my 6th professional fight or something. Yeah. It wasn't until my 6th professional fight was I like, oh, maybe let's not take so much damage. Yeah. I just didn't want to, since I knew that I had won 2 rounds, I didn't want to take any crazy risks trying to knock her out or anything, knowing that when she gets hurt, she's more dangerous. Because like I said, I had seen her tape.
Do you know if you win the rounds already? Or during the fight?
Yeah, in combate you do.
Do you?
Yep. Yeah, they have open scoring.
That is... Okay. So you're just like, all right, let's just finish up.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, I wasn't like, let's finish up. I was just like... Daniel. Her best opportunity to win that fight was to knock me out. Yeah. And I just wasn't going to let it happen. Or a submission. Like, I knew I wasn't going to get knocked out. No, she wasn't going to submit me. No? No. Are you kidding me? You know anything about my grappling? No. Not this bitch. She might try to take me down and beat me up, but there's no way she was submitting me. Yeah. No.
Are you going to do your signature move here when you stick the tongue out?
What did I do? Probably.
Yeah.
I just knew. Like, I knew.
Yes. Well, I already know the ending, but it's just...
Because they take forever to...
I know, right? Hurry up. Boom, there's your...
Oh, I guess so.
Every time you went, it reminds me of
Maybe it's Cardi B or something.
A haka. You know, those...
Yeah, hell good. Yeah. I'm glad that reminds you of that, because that's really cool.
Yeah. That's why I asked you the nationality. That's why I said, really? My parents are from New Zealand. I'm like, no wonder she does the tongue.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you chose that fight. That was fun.
Yeah, I like that fight. I haven't
watched it. Like, what'll happen is after the fight, I'll watch the fight. Yeah. And then I gotta let it go. Because I ruminate, you know?
Yeah, like I told you, we watched the Villalobos fight like 3 times. And I'm always pissed at the end. Yeah. I'm always pissed. I'm like, fuck. Good. I'm so glad. She was also southpaw too.
Yeah, so that's another thing too. Yeah. She's not a southpaw. Oh. When she transitioned from kickboxing to MMA, she switched to southpaw to make it harder to take her down because she wasn't trusting her grappling game.
Got it.
At least that was my perspective.
Yeah. Oh,
my coach's perspective.
There you go.
But the thing about her is she had really her feet underneath her. Mm-hmm. She was always there, like knew exactly. She was really comfortable with her range.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she had a long range because most of her shots are reaching to you.
Yeah, it was funny. I remember her going like this overhand. I'd be like, "Yeah, excuse me, excuse me."
Well, thank you so much for watching the fight. Like I said, we sat there. I don't know how we binged on Tina Pettigrew, the Predator. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, the last fight, every time I watch it, I get angry. Again, not at you. It's just the fact. I don't know. The vibe was weird there, but. Cool. Now, as far as the Predator, where in the hell did you get the Predator from?
So, my brother is an artist. Okay. And he is also a martial artist. Yeah. And he will, when I first started training, would make these little caricatures of me. Okay. And he wrote on one of them, Tina, the Predator, Pettigrew. Just because of the alliteration with Pettigrew. Got you. So that's how it started. But then when I started fighting, it really did kind of seem like they're my prey, you know, like you have to attack.
Like the movie.
The prey. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And also we loved Alien versus Predator when we were little, so that's a bonus. And the Predator is very scary looking.
It is. Especially when he takes the mask off. Oh my God. Looks like an octopus or something.
And just so much violence, you know? And I mean, when you're fighting, violence is that's the piece,
So that's why when you win, when you stick your tongue out, I'm like, is that the Predator signature move?
I guess so.
You see what I'm saying?
Without me realizing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, we just patent that right there.
That's just me feeling very free.
There it is.
You know, I guess that's what that is.
Hell yeah. Now, one of the things we were talking about earlier is about bringing stuff in, or what were you talking about? Something?
So I was saying that we should bring you like hand wraps or like some gloves or something like that to put on display here. Yeah. And you said you wanted someone to wrap your hands on there. Well, it's just so funny because fighters are notorious for not knowing how to do coach things. So this is what I mean. For instance, a fighter is not necessarily trained in holding pads. Yes. You know, like we're the ones hitting the pads, right? we're not really trained in wrapping hands. Like we're getting our hands wrapped. So there was this. Okay, Daniel took a short notice fight.
Okay.
And he normally has his boxing coach, the hand wrapper, come to the events and wrap his hands. And he likes a really boxing hand wrapper or whatever. But he wasn't able to come to this event. It was a last minute fight and I was the corner. So he had me wrap his hands.
Yeah.
And it's just a joke that we have because I don't know how to wrap hands.
Really?
I have tried. But then this is what happened. After that, bro, and the commission was like, you sure you want that? And he was like, yeah, totally. It's good. And he kept saying to me that night, he was like, yeah, I like it. It's good. But his face was like,
oh my God.
But he won the freaking fight. In the third round, he got it finished. So
is that the one in Irvine? Or you went to
We went to San Luis Obispo.
That's the one.
That was such an amazing experience.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
It was
the fight itself and the trip up there we drove and the trip down. It was
that was
really
like 2
cool.
weeks after he fought I forgot the guy he fought.
I don't know, probably Verdugo or something like that.
Yes.
And then he went up a weight class. So.
What's that, Beatdown Production?
Yeah. It was a cool experience too because we were not the favorite. But by the end of the fight, when we were about to leave, everyone was just so gracious. And it was really cool. And Daniel executed the game plan. It was really cool.
Wow. He was still warmed up from his last fight.
Yeah,
because that was like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And he didn't have to cut weight because it was a weight class above. But after that, speaking of the hand wraps, I went to my boxing coach and I had him wrap my hands and I recorded it. Oh. So then the following fight, when our other fighter, Celia, fought, it was like 2 months after that. I wrapped her hands and it was really good. Like I sent a picture to my coach and she liked it. And the commission did not make fun of those.
So is it gauze? And I don't know how it goes because I just use the bands. That's what I use to wrap my hands.
Yeah, you're not allowed to wear those in fights. It has to be like the boxing gauze. Yeah, it's gauze. It's a very specific kind of gauze too because I had bought all of this gauze, to corner people and, wrap hands and stuff like that at like a bulk one from Amazon. Okay. And then I show up to the fight and the commission's like, this is the wrong gauze. Oh. So it has to be very specific. That, and then they have like very specific tape for wrapping hands.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's certain spots that you're allowed to wrap and to tape and not allowed to tape.
You know what I noticed? After the fights, you guys take off your gloves. There's always a bunch of writing on the...
Yeah, that's the commission.
Oh, so they have to check it off?
Yeah.
Got it. So they will inspect it. They're like, okay, it's good. They signed it off. And then once you put your gloves on, you're good.
Yeah. But, Philly and I, we like to grapple and we don't wear hand wraps when we train. Okay. So when we have to wrap our hands for the fight, it's different. Yeah. It's different. So we try to do as little as possible.
Got it. In
fact, the only time my hand got hurt is when someone wrapped my hands too tight in the fight.
Really?
Yeah. My knuckle.
Why do you guys take off your gloves after the fight?
I think they make you. Don't they?
It just, for me, it just looks cooler with hand wraps than it does with gloves. To me, it looks silly when you're wearing gloves.
After the fight?
To me.
Okay.
Yeah, because the fight's over.
Yeah. But it's not like you're going to go, you guys want one more round? Your gloves are on. Just like, because every time the fight's finished, I see the coaches or the corner guys like, hurry up, take your gloves off.
Also the circulation.
Oh, it lets your hands breathe again.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I remember...
somebody that was boxing, they got knocked out, and that was the very first thing they did. Start taking off.
Oh, yeah. To send the blood to your hands. Yeah. But I remember when Philly fought for Fury, they don't give you the gloves. They lend you the gloves. So they make you take them off and give them to them like right away.
Oh, maybe that's why. So it's just common to take them off.
Maybe. I don't know.
Got it. Because I know, for example, with Cage Warriors, they have to wear the yellow Cage Warrior gloves.
Yeah. You have to wear the gloves of the promotion pretty much every time.
Got it. Awesome. Did you know? You know who Kaz Egan is, right? The tall announcer?
Yeah. I love him. I announced kind of with him, or the Valkyrie cards that I was talking about when I was commentating, he was announcing. So I got to know him a little bit. Yeah,
because he had mentioned his first time ever announcing that at Epic. It was one of your fights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I put out there for subscribers, and he posted that saying, she was my first announcing gig.
Oh, that must have been memorable for him.
That's awesome.
Really cool. Yeah, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, you know, with him, he knows all the fighters. He remembers all the fighters. See what I'm saying? So I don't know how long he's been doing this, but yeah. Well, one of the questions is, and then we're gonna get into subscriber questions now, if you don't mind.
Sure.
How hard is it to cut weight, and do you have any crazy weight cutting stories?
Yeah, I do. So, how hard is it to cut weight?
Yes.
I think I'll answer that question first. So, it depends on how lean you are going into the fight.
Okay.
How much actual water you need to cut. When people say cut weight,
yes,
what they really mean is water
weight.
Yes. Because if you think of cutting weight in terms of I'm going to lose 15 pounds of fat in 1 week, that ain't it. That's just not physically possible. So is it difficult to cut weight? Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult. No one likes to dehydrate themselves.
Well,
I mean, and it makes you feel weak when you feel strong in the...
Because you're getting water out of your muscles too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Primarily.
Yes.
That and your brain. So,
yeah,
I mean,
holy
and the
shit.
more I did
There's a lot of water in mine then.
The more I did it, the more I was like, what am I doing to my body?
Yes.
Because, you know, your body can only withstand so much of that.
Yes.
So, yeah, it is difficult. And honestly, if you're not disciplined, don't ever try it because it's not for you.
Yes. Well, that's one thing we used to do in the Marine Corps because I was always 5 pounds, 10 pounds overweight.
Oh, okay.
So throughout the whole year, but we had what's called a physical fitness test yearly. So I had to cut weight.
Yeah.
So I was in the sauna. I had a bag. I would run with the bag on. I would use Epsom salt. You see what I'm saying? So I can have chorro the night before so I could be lighter.
So sad what we do to ourselves.
I know. And sometimes we had to wear, we wore double socks just so I can get a little bit of thickness on my height. See what I'm saying?
That's
so,
funny.
So I'm pretty sure like the same thing fighting, the same thing with the military.
Yeah, well, I always try to tell people, because, you know, people do kickboxing tournaments, they do amateur, like they do jiu-jitsu tournaments, amateur fights and stuff. And I always tell them, if you're not getting paid, you should not be cutting weight.
Okay.
If you're not getting paid, you should not be cutting weight. Do not cut weight for a jiu-jitsu tournament. It is jiu-jitsu.
Oh, a tournament. Oh, got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, for MMA, I get it. Like, I cut weight for amateur MMA fights just because that's what they told me to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, competitive. And I couldn't find anyone at 45, so I had to go to 35.
Yes.
But,
You fight at lightweight or bantam?
Bantamweight. 135.
135.
Yeah. So, but 45 would be closer to my walk around weight is what I'm trying to say. So if I didn't cut weight, I would be closer to featherweight.
Got it.
But to answer the question about do I have any weight cut stories? So yeah, when I was an amateur, I fought at 135 pounds, same day weigh in. Okay?
What does that mean?
You have to weigh in the same day you fight.
It's okay, got it.
Not
so
the
not
day
the
before.
night before. Yep.
Right. So part of what enables people to have bad weight cutting practices is that they don't have to fight until the day after, so they have time to recover, which is not smart anyway, but we do it. So, and that's known as like a professional thing.
Got it.
Since I started training and I told people that I wanted to fight, they would always look at me and be like, oh, you're a flyweight, right? Like 125. And even my coach, Coach Dede, was like, oh, yeah, we'll accept the fight at 125. I'm like, fool, do you know how much I weigh?
Oh,
no,
shit.
it's 135.
He would accept the fights for you without?
No, he wouldn't. But he's like, that's the weight, right? Like to find you a matchup.
Got it.
And I'd be like, no, bro, like it's 35. So nobody like believed that I was a natural 35er. Everyone thought, because I'm small-ish for the weight class, I'm just like really dense. Like I'm heavy, you know?
Yeah.
So everybody thought 125, but I was fighting at 135.
Okay.
And then I got a potential matchup. I really wanted to fight for King of the Cage. Looking back on it, I will never fight for them again. But at the time, I really wanted to fight for them because Jeffrey and Philly were both fighting on the card. And I thought it was so cool,
that
professional and amateur.
Awesome.
We did fight. All three of us fought the same night at Viejas Casino. That was the one that you saw that was outside. When I had the pink hair, and I had just won my Epic and Camo State title, and this was like 3 weeks after, like really quickly after that fight. But the girl was a 25er, and I really wanted to fight. So they were like, can you do catch weight 130? And I was like, okay, well, everyone tells me I'm a 25er. And this is day before weigh-in since it was a pro AMI card. So I was like, okay, let's see if we can do 30. Like, let's practice, basically. I wanted, like, because I didn't want to go all the way to 25 because, you know, 35 is hard. And cutting another 10 pounds, especially for an amateur fight, I'm not sure if I was ready for that. So I was like, okay, let's do catch weight 130. So Jeff, Philly, and we all go cut weight with Kim. And it did not go well for me. It did not go well for me at all. My body shut down. And like I stopped sweating, and you know, I'm pretty disciplined. Like I do as much as I can to do it the right way. I tried to stay calm, keep my stress levels low. Yeah. You know, taking a fight 3 weeks after the other fight or 4 or 5 weeks right after the other fight. Yeah. Maybe wasn't the smartest decision, but I kept my weight low. Yeah. You know what I mean? Anyway, so my body stopped at like 131.2 or something like that. And so I knew, well, okay, so this is another thing. When you sign a contract and it says, hey, 135 is the weight, you have up to 135.9. No, you have up to 135. Sorry, you have up to 136. Sorry. Uh-huh. You have a 1 pound allowance.
Okay, allowance.
Unless it's a title fight, you have to be 135 on the dot or below. Okay?
But I've seen guys like 135.6.
Yeah, they're allowed to be up to 136.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, unless it's a title fight, then you have to be 35 on the dot.
Right on the dot.
Yes.
Got it.
So normally there's 1 pound allowance. Mm-hmm. So I don't remember what I signed. This was an amateur fight, but I came in at 131.2. And they said there's no 1 pound allowance for catch weight is what they told me, even though you always do a pound allowance.
Yeah.
So they tell me that at the weigh-ins, and I'm like, and remember, my body stopped sweating. Like it was no longer.
How did you feel?
It shut down. I felt like the worst I've ever felt. Like when you have like the norovirus or something like that, and you're just like your body can barely move. Mm-hmm. That's how it felt. And So
you were in there like a zombie.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and I already knew like that I wasn't on the weight, but I was really close.
Yes.
Like at the time it was like 131.2, like I said. So I was really close. And it was an amateur fight. She came all the way from another state, so whatever. But I was dead. Like I couldn't do anything more. And they said, we'll give you 1 hour to cut it. And I was like, okay, fine. So Kim and I went to the jacuzzi and we did it. And then, I made it to like 30.3 or something like that. Which technically still was overweight. I sweated out in the jacuzzi. You put sweet sweat and you sweat.
Oh, got it. You didn't put a bag on or anything? That's what we used to do.
Well, we actually wanted to go to the sauna, but the sauna was closed. It was like, anytime you have a weight cut, it's always a shit show. Mm-hmm. It's like nothing ever goes right. Like the bath doesn't work. You run out of something. It's just always, it never goes well.
Got it. Yeah.
That's just kind of how things go.
Yeah.
And, but like I tried my best or whatever. And technically, according to their no 1 pound allowance, I was still off, but I was so close that it didn't even, so that's like the only time I missed weight, but really I was doing it to practice to see if I could do 25. And in my opinion, it was like low risk because it was an amateur fight, whatever. I was like, let's see if I can do 25. And then after that, I was like, okay, well, I'm not doing 25. Yeah. So now I know. Anyway, the reason it was crazy to me is because the next day, walking out to the fight, my muscles were still spasming. Like I was in bad shape. And I just remember, and this is the only time this has happened. And I just remember thinking, wow, I really got to finish this fight. And then I did in the first round. Yeah. So I was just like so blessed.
What was it, 40 some seconds?
I don't remember. Yeah. It was a really boring fight until it wasn't. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was over.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, she was just like circling, being cautious. And then I caught a kick and that was the beginning of the end.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank God. Because like something in me knew, like, that was a really fun night. Something in me knew I had to finish the fight because I was like shaking still.
Do you think you would have lasted the 3 rounds?
No.
No.
No. So I finished her. But I knew I could finish her anyway. That's like part of the reason I took the fight.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, maybe I could have lasted the 3 rounds, but I had already felt pretty terrible.
Wow.
And that's the only time that's happened. And now I know I can't do 30 or 25. My body just wasn't able to do it. Yes. But I tried.
Absolutely. Now, Daniel Reyes wrote in.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Daniel, here's your questions.
What up, Daniel?
He wrote in. He says, how do you mentally prepare yourself to step into the ring? Because... Philly's in the background. Beto Trujillo in the back. He's over there making a mess over there.
How do I mentally prepare for a fight?
Yes, Daniel. How do you mentally prepare to step in the ring? Ring or the cage? Because he said ring.
Okay.
Same thing, right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I mentally prepare? Well, first of all, I think that when you sign a bound agreement, everything changes.
Yeah.
It's like, Philly and I were talking about this. Like, sometimes you'll wake up in the middle of the night and you'll be like, I'm fighting.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a fight or flight thing. You're just like, whoa.
Yep.
I'm fighting. So I think because that naturally happens, you're already like, there's something that changes, like a switch flips in your head. Mm-hmm. So,
I think Philly and I were talking about that switch before.
Yeah. And it makes it easy to stay focused on the goal. Yeah. Because it's like, there's no other option except
How are your feelings,
take this chick's head off.
Are you able to shut off your feelings?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Let's just say you're in fight mode. You're in camp. You're ready to fight tomorrow. Let's just say your fish died.
Yeah.
Would you be like, I don't care. I don't have time to deal with this. I'll deal with it after the fight.
Okay, and this does happen. This did happen. This has happened a lot.
Okay.
Because life keeps lifing, even though you're in fight camp, you know? Yeah, you kind of have to, well, at least me. Angie and I were talking about this too. Yeah, to an extent, you're kind of like, I'll deal with it after.
Yeah,
you know?
really.
But I've tried that before, and it really messed me up in the fight.
Thinking about it or just ignoring
No,
it?
so my dad had been diagnosed with cancer right before I fought for Invicta.
Shit.
Like the week that they offered me the fight. And Invicta pressured me a lot. They basically were like, we want to sign you, but you got to fight.
Yeah.
Soon. And I even told them, I was like, hey, like my dad just got diagnosed with cancer. I'm not sure if they're going to need me, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And my family told me to take the fight when really what I think they meant is do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know how it was going to affect me mentally. And I didn't know how it was going to affect me mentally. And honestly, I was like checked out.
Yeah.
And it messed me up. Like I was waking up every night with night sweats.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is probably just a part of it. Like not knowing just how much I was redlining.
Did your family understand, like your mom and all that? Or they were like, oh
Understand
my God.
what?
As far as you're not emotional towards your dad. You see what I'm saying? It's like, what's wrong with Tina? But did they know? It's like, no, she's focused on something else. Okay, good.
Yeah, but also I'm not gonna not be emotional to my dad. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, to an extent, you like sort of shut certain things off just so you can keep moving. But we're humans.
Yeah.
You know, it's a part of the experience to feel your feelings and to acknowledge the issue and all of that. But yeah, I mean, you know, as far as other mental preparation for the fight, I do my best to visualize what's going to happen in there.
Yes.
Because mental reps are just as important as physical reps. That's what they say.
Yeah.
I like to do that. And then, you know, getting on the meditation and the journaling, which we should all be doing anyway, but having a fight is a good excuse to like really like look inward.
Yes.
You know?
Do you journal a lot?
Not now, but like leading up to a fight, I would. And, you know, sometimes I do actually. Yeah. But only if I'm like, okay, what's going on, Tina? Yeah. Like I have to write things down and figure it out. And it's really helpful. You know what?
And not to cut you off, but I have PTSD from Iraq. And that's one of the things they told the journaling.
Yeah.
In my car, I have a notebook, my pen's right there. So even if I'm at a stoplight, I write stuff down. Okay, cool. Boom. Because if not, it just lingers and lingers.
And it'll catch up to you.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. you gotta address it.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, this is leading up to a fight. It's not nearly anything like that. But you know, fears do come up. You know, and it's important to address your insecurities, to work through, you know, your mental battles.
Wow.
Because again, if you let them linger, like that's what happened to me with the dad thing. Like I had so much worry and concern and stress below the surface of everything that I was doing that when I went into the cage, I fully dissociated. I don't remember what happened when I watched the fight. I'm like, that's not even me. Like I was embarrassed. You know
what?
Yeah, I was like, man, what the?
So like, you didn't recognize yourself?
No, like my martial arts didn't even look like anything I had trained. Like it was such a strange experience for me. And now I'm like, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't have let them pressure you.
No, I got you.
Know?
I got you.
But I learned, so.
I mean, are you still fighting for Invicta or?
No. No. The thing is, Invicta had me signed for 1.5 years and never gave me a fight.
Wow.
I fought that fight. That was my first and only loss at the time, and they just never booked me again.
Yeah. Wow.
So, you know, every promotion has their favorites.
You think they saw you as a liability?
No, I think I just wasn't their favorite.
That's what it is. Yeah.
You know, and you know, I heard that with Invicta, if you come out the gate with a loss, that they don't book you again.
Oh, got you. You got to prove to yourself.
Yeah, which is fine. It's just that, in my opinion, that was an exception.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was my first and only loss.
Yeah. What about with Combate? Are you still signed with them?
I don't think I'm signed with them because they're technically because the contracts you sign with them are good for 2 years, and then they like took a year off of booking fights. So I think that expired. But I have spoken to Tony, who is Sparstar and Combate, and he said he does want to book me.
Oh, good.
So, but I mean, that's in the future, and I have to work with my manager and stuff.
Absolutely.
Because they are fighting again. They have put some fights on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have no complaints about Combate.
It looks like a good promotion.
They do what they say they're going to do. Yeah. They're professional. They pay me. They take care of insurance after the fight.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
That
I'm
is
not paying for
awesome.
What the heck?
Oh, fuck
It's
yeah.
not my fault.
It's under their cognizance, so
exactly.
it's... Yeah, got you.
It's legally, that's what it should be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Is that your favorite promotion to fight for? Because I know you did Epic and Spar Star and all that, but as a professional...
amateur and professional organizations are different. But yeah, I think so. Because most of my professional fights, so my debut was with Combate. My second fight was with Invicta. My third fight was with Fearless. And after that, they've all been Combate.
What about Combate America? Is that the same organization?
Yeah, they just changed. They rebranded after COVID.
Got it.
Combate Americas is the same as Combate Global.
Got you.
They just changed the name.
Got you. Now, Jeff Peterson wrote in as well.
Okay.
He said, do you get the same rush walking into the cage as a coach or as a fighter?
Okay. Great question.
Jeff.
Great question. I always tell people that I'm more nervous when I corner than when I'm fighting.
Okay.
And I think the reason why is because when you're in the corner, you can't control what's happening. Mm-hmm. When you're in the fight, you can control yourself.
Okay.
It's like you're in the driver's seat. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you're the coach, you're the passenger with the map.
Got it.
You know, so there's a little bit more anxiety when there's variables that you can't control. At least that's my perspective. Mm-hmm. Do I get the same rush? It's not the same.
No, of course.
But it's like maybe 10%, which is still like really an intense adrenaline rush. I'm sweating. Like it's... Yeah, it's intense. Especially when you have a connection with your fighter.
I went to a fight and Joe Daddy Stevenson was next to me. Mm-hmm. And he was looking, was doing the commands and all that. And I look over after the fight was over. I said, does it feel like you're playing a video game? Because you're telling him what to do. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? You're like, put your head on his chest, do this, blah, blah. And he's yelling and yelling. So I'm listening to him and I'm looking at the kid and he's doing everything. And that's when I looked over and said, does it feel like a video game that you're doing? Is that the same for you?
With some, it is. Yeah, because they listen.
Yes.
But like we were talking about earlier, not everybody listens.
Yeah. Do you get upset when they don't listen?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation. So what I mean by that is some people follow their gut and they know that they're going to get it.
Yeah.
So they don't listen because they know it's going to get them the finish or whatever, right? And I respect that.
Okay, what if they don't get the finish?
Right, and then they lose position.
You should have listened to me.
Oh, bro, we have one student who just does stuff like that all the time, and God bless him. I love him.
Yeah.
He's young, so he has time to develop.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't even corner him because I know he's not going to listen.
Yeah.
Like in the gym, I mean.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, but also at like tournaments and things like that. Yeah, some people just, and it's not like you can blame them because being in a situation like that where you're competing and there's a lot of people around is insane.
Yeah.
Like half the time you can't even hear people anyway, I
always wondered about that. I was like, can I hear over their coaches and the people screaming? And I don't know. It
is a crazy situation.
I'm going to be there one day, watch. Yeah, we'll see. I want you and Kim cornering me, though. All right, and yell at me.
I would love that.
Pay attention, pendejo.
I freaking smack you.
There you go. My wife wrote in.
Okay.
She said, I want to know what you eat.
Okay.
And she said, by the way, you have a fantastic physique.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's girl talk.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey.
What I eat in general?
Let's just say before the fight. I'm pretty sure that she was
before the fight?
Yeah.
So it depends on how your weight cut is, what your weight and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So if it's fight week, and I would like to disclaimer this, when we cut weight, how we look and what we eat and stuff is not sustainable. So don't be looking at those bodies when people cut all that water and listening to the diet and thinking you can just do that with your life. That's not healthy.
Yeah.
We just do it temporarily because it's a part of the sport to cut the weight.
Got you.
Okay? So fight week, we basically go keto. And we don't do any, and then closer to when you cut the water and dehydrate yourself, you reduce fiber intake as well because that holds on to the water. That's towards the water cut. Mm-hmm. Again, not healthy. I do not recommend it, but that's what we do. As far as fight camp eating, I like to stick with whole foods as much as possible. I used to reduce my carb intake a lot, like very little fruit and honey and stuff like that, but I have since learned that that's unhealthy. So
how's your protein?
Important, lots of protein.
Always
protein.
Good.
Yeah, always lots of protein. And I actually don't have a gallbladder, so if I got it removed. Oh. So if I eat super duper high fat, sometimes it messes me up. Like I really don't feel good because my body can't really process the fats that that efficiently. So, I can only do the keto stuff for a certain amount of time before my body is like really angry with me.
Got it.
But yeah, we eat whole foods. We eat a lot of fruits and veggies, high fiber, lots of vitamins. Yeah. If you eat mostly whole foods, you're not going to get fat.
Oh, okay.
Especially if you're active, just because you would have to be eating all day to consume the amount of calories, with a whole food diet that would like make you fat.
Yeah.
It's the processed foods that make us all feel sluggish and inflamed and stuff like that.
Now here's, I guess, part 2 to the question. What's your go-to recovery routine after a brutal fight or sparring day?
That's a good question. So I have this thing that I eat post sparring called the brain smoothie from a place called Fresheria right next to where we work and train. It's
not the Denny's hamburgers, right? There.
No, that's when you have your period. The burgers are only for when you have your period.
There you go.
But the smoothie has like brain protecting things in it. So
is it like enzymes or what?
No, it's just like walnuts, avocado, healthy fats,
superfoods.
Yes.
Yeah.
And blueberries, antioxidants, and things like that.
Yeah.
So I like to eat like that post sparring and stuff.
Okay.
And then depending on where you're at and stuff, like healthy carbs and protein are really important.
Yeah.
Salts. It's like, honestly, it's basic stuff. I think people just don't want to believe that.
Yeah.
Like that's how you eat is like.
But it's boring.
Healthy food.
Though. That's the problem. It's boring.
They say for like brain damage or like preventing it and stuff, the omega-3s are super important.
I do
that. So the fish and the nuts and all of that really good stuff with omega-3s.
I do a lot of omega-3 fish oil, and I do calcium and vitamin D.
Good.
Because like I said, our diet now. Yeah. So I know I'm losing out on some of the other vegetables and stuff like that, and fruits. Because she said there's a lot of sugars in fruits too.
Yeah. So but speaking of that, as far as recovery meal, when you cut weight, you're putting your body through a lot. Yeah. And so what they say you need to do after you rehydrate, and like start to get your water back is heavy on the carbs and heavy on the salt.
Really?
So that way you reabsorb the water, so you become rehydrated. So your muscles have the water in them. So
got it.
Because when you go into the cage, you want to feel like strong.
Yes. Of course.
You don't want to feel emaciated, dehydrated.
Yeah.
So, we put salt on everything. I add honey to things.
What is she? She puts, I forgot, like Mediterranean sea salt or pink salt or something. I don't know
There's different types of salt. Yeah. I like the Redmond salt because I hear that's a really nutritious one. It comes from Utah. Okay. It's a little more expensive, but I like it. Okay. But yeah, salt matters.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's very important. People demonize salt too.
Yeah.
You need it for like a healthy functioning body.
Well, you see motherfuckers doing just putting shit out. That's bad. But like the healthy salts in the food, whatever. Once again, you know more than me. Let's see. Here's another subscriber question. What gear or equipment can you not live without?
Gear or equipment can a mouth guard.
That's but this is mouth guard out now. Yeah, right.
And I have great teeth. But
there you go.
No, a mouth guard is definitely the most important thing. Whether you're grappling or you're training or like drilling.
Even in training?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just because we've had too many accidents, you'd be surprised.
No, I believe it.
So I would say mouth guard is probably the most important thing. Another thing, if you're an MMA fighter, that's really important. Well, shin guards. I mean, but I feel like that's obvious.
Yeah, but that's amateur though.
Yeah. No. When you're training.
Oh, when you're training.
To train?
Yeah.
No. Everyone wears shin guards when you're training.
Got it.
The only time you don't wear shin guards is the fight.
And that's after 3 amateur fights, no? Or
you mean in the fight?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the state.
Got it.
So that's California rule, though. Yeah.
Got it.
After 3 amateur fights,
Does it really
if it's
help?
a title fight. No, I don't know this. I never noticed the difference.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm a kicker, so I always.
Yeah. You probably wore out yours, right?
Yeah, but as far as training is concerned, my mouth guard, and then if you want to do if you do MMA, the puffy MMA gloves are really important.
Oh, I've seen those. They're kind of roundish.
Yeah, because you want to be able to use the little gloves for the grappling parts of your training, of your like sparring rounds.
Got you.
And that's really hard with the big gloves, but you also want to stay protected because you're not trying to take a ton of damage or give a ton of damage necessarily when you're sparring. Can
you control yourself when you're sparring?
Depends who you ask. Yeah. Can I personally control myself? For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if some, yeah, I can.
Let's say, for example, you and I were boxing. I know you're not a boxer, but and then I accidentally hit you a little hard.
Yeah.
Would you be like, okay, motherfucker, I'm going to get you back? Yeah, right?
Yeah. I
Just
think everybody's like that.
Got it.
Yeah. So I always tell people, like, only hit as hard as you want to get hit.
Yeah.
And, I think, honestly, my coach, Eric, that was the biggest thing he was on me about in my sparring rounds. He's like, why are you taking it easy on these chicks? And I'm
really?
like, Coach, I don't know. And I think part of it is, like, I don't want to get hit too hard, but also, like, they're my friends. So, he was always on me about, like, being aggressive, hitting hard, like, allow yourself to TKO them in the gym, basically, is what he would say to me. Because, I really had trouble pulling the trigger in my sparring rounds.
Got it. Because I do a couple, and sometimes when I accidentally hit hard, I'm one of those, dude, I'm sorry, because I don't want him hitting me back.
Yeah, because we're friends, know. But also, like, a real friend, like, exposes the holes in your game. A real friend is, like, giving you hard rounds.
So you don't really learn that way then.
Exactly.
Got you.
Yeah.
What is your pre-fight hype song?
Pre-fight hype song. So I have a list on my Spotify that's, like, pretty much all women that, like, it pumps me up. Honestly, you know who I really like to listen to when I train too is Pop Smoke. Do you ever listen to that?
No, I've never heard of that. No.
It's just like...
Is that part of your walkout song too?
No, it's not. Okay. So when I first started fighting, I made a commitment to myself to only make my walkout songs, the artists, be women of color.
Oh, cool.
I just thought that would be really, like, represented. Like, I would try to represent for the women. So my right now... My favorite song to walk out to is Bad Girls by MIA.
I never heard of them.
That's right. You're not allowed to do it on the thing.
Yeah.
MIA is it's a chick.
Okay.
She's really good.
Gotcha.
I recommend looking it up.
Now,
she also has, like, a hit song called Paper Planes. They're, like, a very similar style song.
Got it. What is your walkout song?
That one, Bad Girls.
That one? Okay.
Bad Girls by MIA.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. One time I walked out to Bossy.
Yes.
And when I mentioned it to him, he was like, oh, I bumped that in the gym. It's a good song.
Yeah, it is.
I used to walk out to Cardi B, though.
Really?
Yeah. And one time, I love No Doubt, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But one time they played, one time they played Just a Girl when I walked out, and that wasn't my walkout song. I was so pissed. Even though I love the song and I love her, I was just like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But no, that happens. That's happened more than once.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So again, if you're a fighter, like, expect the unexpected. Like, don't sweat the stuff like that.
Yeah,
It just
little. Yeah, don't worry about it. That's not my song. What advice would you give young women entering MMA?
I guess it depends on where she's at with her training. Like, my advice would be pretty...
Let's say she's starting tomorrow. Never fought, never say, Tina, I want to start MMA tomorrow.
I want to train and fight MMA. I think the most important thing is communicate with your coaches.
Okay.
Be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Come to the gym.
Yeah.
Friggin' listen.
Listen to your coach. Yeah, right.
Listen to your coaches. Come to the gym. And don't let anybody... discourage you from what you know is true.
Yeah. What about a boyfriend?
Definitely not a boyfriend. If the boyfriend was problematic with no matter what your dreams are.
Yeah.
If you want to get your degree, if you want to do whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
If your boyfriend is problematic versus collaborative.
Yes.
As far as, like, you
supporting
your dreams, then he doesn't have a place in your life.
Wow.
He, she, whoever, anybody. That goes for anybody in your life.
Wow. I must be a good boyfriend because I always tell my wife, babe, start fighting. No, I'm not a boyfriend, it's my wife. Wow. Cool. Thank you. How did you know when you were ready to go pro? That's a subscriber question.
This is easy.
Okay.
I knew I was ready to go pro when so I kind of played matchmaker for myself all the time.
Okay.
I would come to the promotion and be like, hey, what about this chick?
Yeah.
At this weight, blah, blah, blah. And because I was paying attention. And of course, if you really want something, you have to make it happen. That's the way I saw it. So when I started looking at all the chicks that I could potentially fight, they were all pro or turning pro or making their pro debut. That's the only reason I decided to turn pro because I wanted more amateur fights.
Got it.
But I was like, oh, well, because everything I did at the time was strategic.
Yes.
I'd be like, well, if I fight this it's not going to help me get to where I want to go.
Yeah. You're just building up numbers that don't count, I guess.
Right. Well, at least that's how I saw it.
Okay.
everybody has different opinions. But whenever I would look up these chicks that were like about my level, they were all like making their pro debut or fighting someone else for their first fight.
Got it.
And so that's when I was like, okay, well, and it ended up aligning with when I quit my full-time job. I was like, okay, well, let me take this job. And, then that's when I decided to do it.
And this is not a subscriber question. Okay, you said you quit your career, your full-time job. Did that give you more freedom?
Yeah.
As far as not I could be in the gym more often now, but as far as a mental compartment to say, you know what, I don't have to worry about that more.
Big time.
Oh, hell
yeah. That's part of why it took me so long to do it.
Yeah, because
I knew, and I also love the people I worked with there, and they were very supportive.
Yeah.
And the money was good.
Yeah.
And I actually really cared about the work.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for me to leave, but I knew I had to, and I was really excited to do it because I had prepared myself, and I really wanted to fully commit to fighting too, because I knew also that's part of when I was like, should I get to 25? I knew that if I trained the way I really wanted to, without that job like kind of holding me back, then I would learn so much faster. I could get so much leaner. Like I could focus on my diet more. It just freed up a lot of my resources.
No, that's cool. And then mentally too, it also helped you, right?
Yeah.
Like
because
stress.
I didn't have that stress.
I got to go to work tomorrow. I can't be here.
Yeah, totally. 100%. Yeah, because looking back on it, my health really did suffer when I was doing both. Yeah. And I just was in denial about it,
I think if I were to quit my job, I think I'd be mentally healthier.
Yeah, I think that's the case for most people, which, yes, what I do now can be stressful, but at the end of the day, like I'm very blessed to do what I do. And I strategically did that because it's not worth it.
The stress is not that I want more time for myself. It's just I get home at 5:30. I spend 30 minutes with Jennifer. Yeah. And then I'm at the gym after that. Yeah. And I feel that I need to be committed to myself and the gym. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't know, it's just something that's in my back of my head. I don't want Kim thinking, oh, this guy's slacking off. Not that I'm training for a fight, but...
No, I get that though. The outside accountability. Yeah. Because ultimately you're doing it for yourself, and you have to, in order to be there for other people, you have to fill your own cup, and going to the gym is a part of that. Yeah. And having a coach that's going to hold you accountable, I think is also helpful. Yeah. Because, everybody has their own issues, but for me personally, sometimes I'm like... I get down on myself and I just like let it overcome me. But it's important to have someone outside to check in with. Yes. Like to be on your ass a little bit. Because that way it's like, oh, I'm afraid of disappointing them. Yeah. Like deep down, I'm really afraid of disappointing myself. Yeah. But when you allow it to be external validation, like it motivates you more to stay accountable. Yeah. And it's always good to put yourself with positive people, Jeff, Kim, and all that, where work. What time you going to be here? What time you need? I need you to work. So it's the support's not there anymore. Right. So that's why I look to Valiant. Like when I broke my shoulder, I get a text from Kim. Hey, how's your shoulder doing? Yeah,
I'm
how
like,
are you?
Oh, hell yeah. You think work did that?
And more of that. Like in general, like you need more of that. Yeah. We all need more of that.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. Let's see. I got a couple more. If you could, this is the last one. Okay. If you can go back to your amateur days and do one thing differently, what would it be?
I mean, honestly, I think I did fine.
Yeah, you did good?
Yeah, I do.
So you wouldn't change anything?
No, I mean, I would probably change stuff. Yeah. But I think I did pretty well considering.
You did. You were undefeated.
But looking back on it, I think I probably would have... I mean, there's nothing I could have changed. Yeah. But having done so many fights in such a short span of time... Yes. Cutting weight so much and having a full-time job, I think it took a toll on my health. Yeah. And that's something you kind of can't erase. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, I started MMA late, so I had a sense of urgency about getting all those fights under my belt quickly because I also knew I could beat all those girls pretty quick. Yeah.
Late as in late 20s, early 30s?
Just late in general.
Oh, got you.
So, yeah, I felt like there was a sense of urgency and I wasn't wrong. Like, I did the right thing. I think I should have taken a lot of fights in a short period of time. But, I back then I just wasn't as aware of my own well-being. Okay. I kind of would always put it on the back burner.
Do you think you should have did a little bit more amateur fights?
No, I wanted to do more amateur fights. I was trying to do more amateur fights. And like I said, the reason I turned pro is because all the people I wanted to fight. Yes, because everybody else, like I was 5-0. The only other people who were like ready, like would have been opportunities for me to fight, had like 1-0, and they were gonna say no.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? The people who were also 5-0 or 3-2 or whatever their MMA record was, like the girl I fought for my amateur debut for my pro debut had 11 amateur fights. Do you know what I mean? It's like there was nobody else for me to fight.
But half of those are cans too, though. You know that,
what do you
right?
mean?
Like somebody has 27-0.
Oh no, she wasn't 27-0. She was 5-6.
Oh, 5-6. Oh, I thought you said 11-0.
No, she had 11 amateur fights.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, but my point is that there was no one there for me to fight. I wanted to stay amateur.
You were already exhausted. You were plateaued, so your next choice is to go pro.
It wasn't really my choice the way I saw it. It was just like these chicks like, okay, I guess I'll make my pro debut. And it gave me more of a motivation to leave the job and start making money fighting.
Got you.
Because I knew I could beat those girls anyway.
Yeah, especially if you want to put your body through it, I might as well get paid.
Yeah,
I might as well get some money off of it.
For sure. And I knew that's where I was heading anyway, so,
might as well do it now.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me see. Some of these questions I asked you already. Okay, here's another one. How do you deal with the pressure now that your record actually matters, or does it matter? Because you're what, 4-3? 4-3.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do I deal with the pressure that my record actually matters? So I think every fighter, for the most part, takes their losses personally. Yeah. And I do. Yeah. Like I hate that certain things happen and stuff like that, but it is facts. Yeah. At this point, I'm 4-3, and for fighters, there's only so many options. Yeah. And you don't get paid. You get paid crap, like the whole beginning, until you get picked up by an organization that can pay you like even double what you made, which is like the amount of money we make is ridiculously low. We lose money when we fight. Let's put it that way.
Or sometimes you go even.
Yeah. So if you're lucky. Yeah. Because you have sponsors, but it's not a job where you can take care of yourself.
Okay. Yeah. It's extra.
You can't pay your bills with the job. Yeah. So
that's what a lot of young kids think.
I think I think the thing is too, what happens is there's only so many fighters and so many organizations. So fighters and organizations are going to have to adapt to certain records and stuff like that. I don't feel that bad about my record now because I know what I'm capable of, and I know like who I can beat and, what I have to do to get where I want to go. Yeah. The thing that I'm more concerned about nowadays versus my record is my health.
No shit.
Because when I started training after my 2 surgeries, I started getting injuries. Yeah. Because my body had to take the time off, and then I was so used to the grueling training schedule that jumping right back into that wasn't realistic. Yeah. And so I got hurt. Yeah. And, that's like a bigger challenge and a more important thing than a record. Yeah. Because honestly, the reality is, especially for women, until you're at like 15 to 20 professional fights, that's probably when you'll start making good money. Yes. For the most part. Unless you're someone like Jenna Bishop, who is like a specialist. Yes. And she can demand more money up front with less fights. It makes sense, right? Because the industry needs specialists, Yeah. And she's like very decorated in the sport of jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Like with the exception of people like that, like most fighters when they do just MMA versus coming in as a professional boxer, professional jiu-jitsu, whatever the thing is. Yeah. YouTube star, whatever the hell kind of marketing thing right. Makes their value higher or whatever. Yeah. Like we're all going to be making peanuts until like 15 to 20 fights. Yeah. Anyway.
Now, how do you feel, since you brought up YouTube stars or YouTube fighters, how do you feel just because they're YouTube and they start fighting, they make more money than most fighters that are out there?
As the industry.
Is it?
I mean, just because they lack talent and put in less time than us doesn't mean that their value isn't high. Yeah. I mean, what am I going to do about that? Yeah. I mean, I can sit here and say like they suck or whatever, but like the price is the price. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm not really like I'm not a big person.
I'm a big hater, that's why.
Well, I was just gonna say I'm not really big on talking smack and stuff like that because I just don't want to bring that negative energy to my life.
I mean, I can understand. Like, say for example, Philly's in the background. If Philly and I were fighting at the same time, and he got paid more because he was at a bigger promotion, I could understand that. But if we're fighting on the same promotion and because he has 100 million followers on YouTube. That's the reason why he's getting paid more.
Right.
Because he's more popular. He's going to bring in more ticket sales.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's bullshit, but that doesn't
That's
like.
what I wanted.
But I do think it's bullshit, and it is an injustice. But I can't control it.
Yeah, I know we can't.
You know.
But does that give you? I don't want to say motivation to fight, but does it? I'm one that holds a grudge.
Okay.
So I'd have that chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And I would just have to probably work harder to, not to make the money as him, but just to show that you know what, even though he's famous on YouTube, I'm a better fighter. And hopefully
Yeah. I mean, we all are like that.
Yeah.
We all already are like that. I don't need anything like that to motivate me.
Gotcha.
I'm already going to be the greatest fighter I'm going to be.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, but also I don't really count on external things for motivation because it's not sustainable.
No, absolutely. I would be happy. Let's just say I went to box and I went professional. I would be happy with even if I had losses because I'm at a level where no one else can be. You know, like for example, you're 4-3. You're like, shit, I'm proud of you. Yeah. Even though you have three losses, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a good fighter.
And you're a good fighter. Well, look what you got to get. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like I said, I lived through you guys. Woo, man, that was a good one. Well, if you don't mind, I said we do some rapid fires.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll wrap it up.
Sounds fun.
Cool. All right, here we go. So now we're going into the rapid fire. Look at that. She's about to stretch out because she's about to, boom, spit from the lip. All right, here we go. Knockout or submission?
Knockout.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Just because I don't have enough of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Got you. But you do
have
have submission.
I only have like 2. Oh, and I think I only have 1 submission. I don't know.
Do you feel bad when you knock somebody out?
No.
No?
No.
It's just the adrenaline kicks in, like, look what I did?
Yeah, well, and that's what I came there to do.
Yeah, got it.
Totally.
Striking or grappling?
Grappling.
Fight camp or fight night? The night before?
The night before?
Yeah, or fight camp. Would you rather...
Fight camp.
Fight camp?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because I'm learning
Yeah.
I love it. I love martial arts.
Awesome. Do you believe the earth is flat?
No. I went to college. No, I'm kidding.
I know, right? I went to college.
I believe in science, but...
I believe in science.
You guys believe in whatever you want.
Yeah, okay, well, let's do this one. Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Come on, are you serious?
You don't think there's extraterrestrial activity in the universe?
No, I don't.
Why?
I just don't.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's...
Didn't the government say there was too? Or no?
I haven't seen them. I'm waiting to see a little green monster walking around.
Well, I'm not saying aliens are little green monsters, but I do believe that there is extraterrestrial activity in the universe.
What do you think about the pyramids, how the aliens came in and helped them do the
I mean, that's probably bullshit.
It's bullshit?
Yeah, I think that's humans, but I don't know. I'm not that educated about it.
Yeah,
so I'm
I don't
not sure.
either. My wife, oh my God. Here we go. We'll talk at dinner. What about ghosts?
I wish that I didn't believe in ghosts, but I do think that there's a possibility.
Have you
just because I've had experiences, unfortunately. Yeah, fortunately or unfortunately. But I also have a weird connection with things that people can't see. This is what I mean. I have premonition dreams that come true.
Really?
Yes, it's stressful.
How many times has that happened?
Enough.
Wow.
Enough for it to be true. Yeah.
You know what? And I freaked out because I had that one time. There was a friend of the family that I knew. And then one day I had a dream that she borrowed my car and got in an accident and died.
Yeah.
And I had to tell her. And I said, hey, Maggie, she died.
No way.
I swear to God.
Bro.
I swear to God.
That's terrible.
I told her, I said, hey, Maggie, guess what? I dreamt about you. She goes, yeah, that you drove my car and for some reason you got... She goes, oh, it's just a dream.
Yeah.
Sure enough, a year later, car accident, she died.
Oh, my God.
And that's why when my dream, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I have dreams where things happen to me, and then it happens to someone else.
Does
the next day.
Oh,
it's always the next day. So when you said that, I thought it happened right then.
No.
So that's why I tell the person right away. I'm like, hey, I don't want to freak you out. Well, it depends on the person too, because sometimes it'll be someone who's like peripheral in my life. Yeah. So
I mean, did it happen because of my dream? No, it was just the dream was car accident.
Sure.
She died car accident.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I mean, she was a friend of the family. It was just one of those, you only knew her when we went to parties.
Sure.
You know, that was like, hey, what's up? What's up? But I'd never contact with her.
My mom says that I'm just really in touch with my intuition.
Yeah.
That's what she says.
That's how Jen is.
Yeah.
Yeah. First thing you do after a fight?
First thing I eat pizza.
Eat pizza.
Well, of course, I hug my corner and my family, and I'm with them, and then we get pizza.
And pizza, that's your celebration.
Yes.
Probably the next one is, what's your cheat meal after a fight? Pizza.
Yeah, probably pizza is the first one. But honestly, I love sandwiches.
What kind?
Anything. I love bread. It's
Do you like
good.
the club sandwiches where they put the bacon, the turkey, the pepper,
Yeah,
pepper
I love
cheese?
that. And I love sauces and dressing and cheese. I love all that fatty stuff. Yeah.
Got you.
Oh, yeah.
Hardest puncher you've ever faced?
Hardest
You don't have to say the last name.
In the cage or in the gym?
Sure. Angela Hill?
No. Just because Angie's smaller than me.
Oh.
She does hit hard, but we're just different weight classes.
Got it.
In the gym, as far as women are concerned, either Tyler Schaefer or Loba. Mm-hmm. They both hit very hard. Mm-hmm. All kinds of guys. Philly hits hard.
Yeah.
And then in the cage, let me think about this. Probably Montse, the one that I lost, the split decision. We hit each other very hard, both of us. Yeah, she rung my bell.
Whoa.
But I also rang her bell.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Best MMA coach in history?
Best Eric Del Ferio.
Eric Del Ferio, same thing that Philly said. Fighter you would like in your corner for a street fight?
Philly.
Philly? All right. One word that describes your weight cutting.
Hate.
Yeah, hate. Hate it. No shit, right?
Hot.
Hot.
Dehydrated.
One word, but she has
Dry.
more. God damn, that's a lot.
Skinny. Sad.
Dream fight, past or present?
Ooh, like who I could fight?
Yeah.
Oh, like past or present, if they're active or not.
Yeah.
Probably someone like Ronda Rousey, Miesha Tate, Amanda Nunes.
Would you ever
that
fight
sort of era?
Gina Carano?
Of people. Yeah. I would fight her.
You would fight her?
Yeah. I would love to fight
yeah.
her. Neither of us are like,
Yeah.
I mean, she's probably pretty further away from fighting than I am.
I would tell my wife, I have a crush on her. That's the only woman I would leave my wife for.
She's
Gina
beautiful.
Carano.
She's smart.
Yeah.
She's well spoken.
But thick Gina Carano, not skinny Gina Carano.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like her now. I'm like, oh, she thick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Biggest strength?
Mine?
Yes.
Biggest strength? My heart.
Your heart? Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Cats or dogs? I know you have both, but if you had to pick one.
Both. Probably dogs.
Dogs, cool. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee, hell yeah. How's that coffee? Did it come out good, Philly? Perfect.
He's vibrating over there.
I know, right? California or New York?
California.
California? Mm-hmm. You wouldn't go back to New York?
I mean, I'd go to visit, but I'm not living there.
No, you're not going to live?
California is the best place in the world.
Yeah, it's just expensive as hell now.
No, New York is too.
And
it's way more crowded,
and
they have really gnarly winters.
And that's why everybody builds up.
Yes.
All right. Dream sponsorship deal.
Dream sponsorship
deal. And don't say booty because that's taken already. Pirates booty.
Dream sponsorship deal. I can't think of anything. You know what?
They're going to pay you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, if a brand of like clothing made with natural fibers or something like my hippie lifestyle kind of thing could afford to pay me well, then it would be that. But I can't even think of.
Is there a brand?
Now. I mean, I get like targeted ads on the internet, but I'm not gonna say any names or anything because
you're not sponsored yet.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But something that's like non-toxic and good for the earth, that kind of stuff, I'm really into. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm not trying to listen. I'm not naming names. I'm not like blaming people for anything. But people wonder why there's so much disease and cancer and things like that. And it's like, look around. Look what we're putting into our bodies. Look what's
even the
happening.
Clothes.
Yeah, everything.
What?
Literally everything.
Well, because I know some clothes have plastics and all that. And
yeah. Most bras have these things called PFAS in them. They're like forever chemicals that cause
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
forever chemicals.
And it's like in your underwear, dude. It's like, really? It's just because the big businesses save money doing it. It's just like really
made in China.
Exactly.
They use whatever shit out there.
It's just like totally convoluted and really backwards.
They call it fast fashion. They just
yeah, and it's not your health. Nothing is worth your health.
I didn't know clothes were bad for you.
Literally everything is.
Yeah.
It's just so sad and terrible.
Wasn't what is it called? That one company. Lululemon. It wasn't that like perfect, but then they came out that there was like metals in the fibers or something.
Yeah, like everything.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like
ugh.
everything you get is like that. So
women were getting yeast diseases because of the I guess the yoga
the
pants.
material.
Yeah, the material
for sure.
Oh, cool. Shit, damn it. Let's see. Funniest trash talker in MMA.
Funniest trash talker.
Female or male?
Probably Marab.
Marab
Davashvili.
Okay.
He's funny.
Did you watch the fight yesterday?
No, we were coaching a jiu-jitsu tournament all day yesterday for 13 hours. We were there. Unfortunately,
yeah,
I would have loved to watch the fight.
Yeah, Petty Pendleton won.
I saw, cool. Yeah, and I actually that's the only thing I looked up afterward because I had seen that it happen. And I love Michael Chandler. Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah, hell yeah,
really brutal. He looked great.
Yes, he did good. He did good. Padres or Dodgers? Because I know that there's a big Dodger thing going on right now.
Yeah, I don't really care, honestly, but I'm down for Padres.
The Padres?
Yeah. I mean, I live in San Diego, so.
Yeah. I don't like the Padres.
Yeah, I think I remember that from last time.
Yeah.
And his brother goes for the Dodgers.
I'm a Dodgers guy. I like Dodgers because of Fernando Valenzuela back in the day. Yeah. So if I were to pick, I've been to Padres games and I'm just like, let's get out of here. I mean, the stadium's beautiful, but I hate going downtown.
Yeah, same.
What about San Diego or LA Chargers?
San Diego.
San Diego Chargers? Mm-hmm. I like the old school San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
I don't know who even plays now. And then the famous question we have all the time is, what hurts more, a leg kick or stepping on a Lego?
A leg kick.
A leg kick.
Yeah, if done the right way.
Have you ever stepped on a Lego?
Yes.
It hurts.
Yeah,
but then again, I've never got a leg kick before.
The reason it hurts is because it catches you by surprise.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it's usually like in the middle of the night, so you're just like half asleep and you just, fuck.
Yeah.
Where a leg kick, you're seeing it coming.
Yeah, but a well-placed leg kick will F your whole week up.
Yeah. Have you done that to somebody where you just put them down?
Oh, you mean like they dropped for a leg kick?
Because that's the purpose of it, right?
Maybe I have. You know what? I do this thing where when I accomplish a goal or I do something like really amazing, I like delete it from my memory.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just like, you know how I said I'm never satisfied?
Yes.
I think that's a part of it. Like people will tell me stuff all the time. Oh, you did this inspiring. You did that inspiring. And I'm
you're
like,
huh?
Oh.
You know what? That's
cool, I guess.
Believe it or not, Albert Einstein used to do that.
Do what? Delete
stuff on his, like if he invented.
Yeah, because you need space for your aspirations and stuff,
Like, for example, if he invented this and it was successful, it's like, all right, cool, bye.
Yeah. And I think I, to an extent, do that, yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so maybe I did drop someone with a leg kick before, but I wouldn't remember.
You don't remember. That's how humble she is. Or that's how cocky she is. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know.
Leg kick, nah. And the last question, like we always ask, if you had to fight a Ninja Turtle.
Okay.
Who would you fight and why? So there's 4 of them.
Yeah, I know. I would probably fight Leonardo.
Leonardo?
Yeah. Just because growing up he was my favorite, and so when you have something in your head of like, oh, I love this one, this one, it's always cool to.
And he was
be
a
able
leader.
To, yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm a natural leader, so that's probably why I really liked him.
There you go.
Zach and I were Zach's my brother.
Okay.
We were really into Ninja Turtles when we were young.
Were you ever into Voltron?
No.
You don't know what Voltron is?
Sounds familiar, but
it was that one robot with the lions. Each like an arm was a lion.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my era.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that does sound familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we liked a lot of stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, Power Rangers, Captain Planet.
That's
Ninja
out
Turtles.
of my Ninja Turtles. That was my
Ninja Turtles were
transitioning
the best,
out of from a kid to a teenager, and then after that, I don't know what came after that. I don't know. No idea. We
can ask Philly. He's the youngest one.
How old are you, Philly?
He says he's 40. He's been 40 for like 5 years.
Oh,
just because he's preparing himself for when he's actually 40.
Oh, you're going to turn 40. Huh? You're going to turn 40?
No, he's younger than 40.
40.
He's way younger than 40.
This guy. I got scared when I turned my age. I'm like, oh, God.
Age is just a number.
I know it is, but when your body starts feeling like the number, then you're like, crap. Remember, I was in the Marine Corps for 15 years, so my body is done. My knees, my back. I feel like Smokey on Friday. My neck and my back. Cool. That's funny. Tina, thank you so much. I'm trying to see if we have any more subscriber questions. I think that was it. But thank you so much for coming in.
Sure.
And like always, I do have a gift. And I'm pretty sure you know it because you saw it last time.
Okay.
That makes sense. Since I was in the Marine Corps.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes. Since I was in the Marine Corps, I like giving people a piece of me.
Okay.
And as you already know, I got you the golden dog tags.
Wow, thank you.
Yes, you can hang them, wear them proud, whatever you want to do. That's just a piece of my military. Now, I'm not done.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the tailor?
The tailor?
Yeah.
Ooh, funny you ask.
Tell me everything.
Yes. Well, everybody, the way I dress, I'm always in a suit. I'm always try to be snazzy up. So everybody that comes up to me goes like, wow, you always dress. Oh,
sorry.
There's your good. You always dress nice. You're always looking to the nines. Man, you should be a tailor.
Okay.
And I get that all the time. I go to, like yesterday, we went to the mall. We went to the restaurant. And then it's like, bro, you always looking good, because we get there, we valet and everything goes, man, you always look good, man. You should be a tailor. And I looked at my wife, it's like, that's so like funny. The 100th time that I've done that. So
it's like you don't pick your nickname picks you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of how the Predator, like I didn't pick it, someone else picked it for me.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's either that or the dumbass, because when I'm in training, Kim's like, hey, dumbass, pay attention. I'm like, oh, shit. So I think funny. I like the tailor better.
Yeah.
Because I always like suits, and I like looking my age, I guess, for lots of better words. You know, look at my career. So when people see me, they're like, okay, this guy's successful.
Right, like the well-dressed guy.
Yeah, especially since I have a younger wife, I got to make sure it's like, oh, this guy got money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Cool. But I'm not done. I got one more gift.
Okay.
Yes, all the ladies that are in the class. I'm thinking work now since I brought it up. All the ladies that are on the podcast. This is my favorite candle. I've had this candle for a year and a half.
Okay.
You can actually see it's almost gone. But my favorite candle in the world is Le Labo. I don't know if you heard of that brand. No?
I'd have to see it.
Yes.
The words in front of me.
Yes, that's my favorite candle. I've had these candles for years, and what I like to do is I like passing this to you guys. So
okay.
What I did is I got
no
you
way.
the candle. Absolutely.
Oh, that's so nice.
And if you look
Thank
at
you.
it, Le Labo sponsor the show. Come on now. So if you look at all the episode, all the ladies get the candle. Now it is personalized.
Okay.
So if you want to pull out the box,
this or what?
Yeah, it's right there on the label. Okay. So you can actually see how mine's personalized too. So yours is personalized as well. And it should say it right there. And it also says it on the candle.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It says my name on it.
Yep.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
Yeah, feel free to open it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Now don't break it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But I love this candle. If you look all over my house, I'm a candle guy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Wow, Philly, we got a candle for the house. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you pull it out, it looks exactly like this, and it says your name right there.
That's wild.
Yes.
Wow, it says Tina the Predator on it.
What?
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, Philly's like, oh, I didn't get one. Yeah, because you're not a lady. Only the ladies.
A chick.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Le Labo sponsors the show.
It.
Absolutely.
That's really going to help because, we have pets at the house. So
yes.
we got to make it fresh.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You can
nice
see.
And fresh.
I might have to get another one. I have another one up in the living room. So enjoy the candle. Hopefully you like it. It is the same scent on Broxide 17. Now, because I gave you 2 gifts, I need you to give me a gift.
Okay.
Hell yeah. So what I need you to do is I need you to go ahead and add to the Hall of Fame table.
Okay.
You can actually see, I'm pretty sure you know some of the fighters here.
Yep.
I think Philly was here earlier. There's Kim, Jeff, Angel Ramirez. But if you don't mind, if you can bless the table,
all right, I'll be right here.
I would appreciate that so much.
So, so they just wrote their name.
So you put their name and then their fight name, and then we're looking at April. Are we in April? Yeah, April 2025. And then when I do sell this table, I'm going to pass out the proceeds to everybody. Let's see how much money I get. I'm betting about $5 million. I'll send you guys back to Hawaii.
I would love to go back to Hawaii. Yeah. I want to go to Thailand.
To train or to enjoy? Come on now. Don't lie to me.
Both. Always both.
Yeah. I think I told you guys we got married in Oahu.
Uh-huh, yeah. It feels like so long ago now that we went there.
Yeah. Oh, we were there, 8 years ago? When we got married? I told her my next wife I'm going to Maui. She was like, yeah, go ahead and have fun.
You guys can get married twice.
Yeah.
That's what his parents did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
25 years they had another wedding.
Paulita, right? Mm-hmm. Paulita. Did you watch the other video? Philly's video?
Which video?
His video.
Oh, on the podcast? Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Where did you sign? All right, cool.
Next to Jeff, Kim.
Next to the
Daniel,
Valiants. Hell yeah. Well, like always, if you don't mind, I would love to face off. That way I can say I faced off with the champ. Now, really quick, I forgot to ask you this. How many Camel California belts do you have? How many times did you defend it?
I have 2. So I won it, and then I defended it once.
Like Daniel, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how many times he's defended it. I don't remember. I don't keep track of him.
What about epics?
Epic, same.
Same?
Yeah, my third fight was... Okay, so this is what happened.
Yeah.
I fought once, I fought twice. The third time was for the Epic and Camo.
Okay.
The fourth time was the King of the Cage. That was like no belt on the line because it wasn't California State Commission.
Got it.
It was on the res.
It was okay.
And then my 5th fight was my title defense.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So you have a lot of belts at home.
Yeah, and I actually also won a professional title for an organization called Fearless.
Okay.
That was actually one of my favorite fights.
Is that on your numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what number was that on pro?
That was my second pro
Your
fight.
second fight.
Second pro fight? No. Third pro fight. Sorry.
And you have a belt?
It was my third. Yeah. It's the prettiest belt.
Really?
It has jewels all over it.
It's because they have a little bit more budget.
Oh, no.
No?
It's just because Libby, the one who runs it, is amazing.
Oh,
She's the one who does Valkyrie. It used to be Fearless, and now it's Valkyrie.
And she designed it, so.
Yeah, it's that was one of my favorite fights. It was supposed to be 5-minute rounds, and I finished the fight in 55 seconds.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I know. Every time Daniel fights, I always say, bro, I need to get my money's worth, bro.
I know.
I got to wait all this time, and then boom.
Yep,
Come
and then
on,
all
bro.
night you got to watch the other fights, and then his are so quick.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, Daniel, you owe me money, bro. You owe me
he
money.
doesn't get paid by the hour, so.
I know he doesn't. If you don't mind, I would love to face off, and then I say we wrap up.
All right, let's
Sounds
do it.
good? Awesome. Here we go. So, like I said, we're going to look at each other for 3 seconds, and then we'll look at the camera, and that'll be for the thumbnail.
Okay, are we standing up?
Yeah. Or standing up, sitting down, doesn't
off?
matter. Yeah, you can take them off. Cool. So here we go. You can just put them down, and then just to you. Frame ourselves.
Both hands?
Sure, that's my fight. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Tina, thank you so much for coming out here, especially on a Sunday. Guys, thank you so much. This will be posted at the end of April. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the subscribers and everybody that shares. But, guys, once again, this is Ruben the Tailor. We got Tina, the Predator, Pettigrew. Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Peace. Bye-bye.